Erica.
West Palm TV, 30 seconds, please.
Okay, are we on the record? All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 5th, 2022 Special Magistrate hearing for the City of West Palm Beach. My name is Keith Davis. I am the Special Magistrate appointed by the city to preside over today's agenda. Before we begin, if you'll please silence your cell phones so they don't interrupt the proceedings, that will be appreciated. Next, if you're going to be speaking to me about any of the cases or other matters on the agenda today, your testimony needs to be sworn, so I need to place everyone under oath who will be testifying. If you fall into that category of person, please stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear everybody in together. Thank you. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You can all have a seat. We will, when your case is called, please come up to the podium to my right. When the case is called, the city will present its evidence first. There will likely be testimony. There may be documents, photographs that are relevant to the case. After the city has concluded its presentation and made any recommendations that it has for the resolution of the case, I will then hear from you. You can tell me everything that you feel is important about the case from your perspective. If you have additional documents, photographs, or other materials that you want me to consider, that will be the time to produce those. That is generally how we will proceed through the agenda. I know we had a sign-in sheet, and I believe we'll be taking those cases as well as a few cases where we have city staff that has to testify and be excused first. So with those explanations concluded, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, first case number 1-1804 North Dixie Highway, number C, CE 21080193, number 1-1804 North Dixie Highway, number C.
Good morning.
Morning.
And the other thing, if I can remind everyone, I know that we're all masked up, so if you can get the microphones as close as you can. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what you're saying with that barrier. So
Take it off in the booth?
I have no problem if you remove your mask to testify personally. I don't know what the city's protocol is, but I have no objection to that. It helps me here.
Chris Montello, City of West Palm Beach. This case is a nail salon that opened up on North Dixie Highway. Came to our attention because there was some complaints from the neighbors about offensive smells coming into their space. So they had a violation written on August 13th. Notice was mailed to them on December 1st and posted on December 9th. They did apply for a permit on September 30th. The reviews were complete on November 1st and emailed to the contractor. They didn't respond for whatever reason until December 10th, and they received the permit on 12/23.
Okay.
So the issue in this case is really a timeline of when they can get the work done, so they can put the proper exhaust in there to keep the smells away from the neighbors.
What's the nature of the work? It says mechanical work on my agenda.
Well, I mean, I didn't.
I said, what was the nature of the work? The agenda indicates mechanical work
Well,
was done.
they didn't do any work. With a nail salon, you need to have a certain amount of ventilation
Okay,
so that the smells don't intrude on other spaces. So they open the nail salon, the mechanical work needs to get done.
Okay, so it's HVAC kind of
Yeah, they need to
ventilation.
put exhaust to get the smell of the nail chemicals out.
Okay, and permit was issued on December 23rd, but
Correct.
the work now needs to be completed.
Yes, so we're looking at really more the 110 than the 105. It's when they can complete the work.
Okay. Let me hear from the respondent. Yes, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Beret Gamble. My address is the 1804 North Dixie Highway. I am the owner of Suite C as well as A. I've actually had a nail salon there. We moved a few desks in there about, I've actually had this address for about 4 years. This complaint came up sometime in February. I started getting different people from the city, you know, kind of coming by for the first time ever in 4 years, saying, you know, something was going on as far as the smell. I'm licensed as well as like with the state and blah, blah, blah. And when they very first were coming in, they say, oh, well, you know, you have this set up, you know, with the restroom, your ceilings are high, you have no problem. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But once we started getting the complaints from the next door neighbor 4 years later, I said, okay, well, whatever I need to do, let me know. The city came in, they were talking to my nail techs as well as some of the customers that were there, and they were just like, hey, you know, in front of my clients as well, you guys don't get this taken care of, we'll be down there with chains and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, hold on, let me go to the city, let me see what's going on. Since then, I've had different people to come into my space, the different city workers or what have you. Most of the time, not even talking to me as being the owner of the building, they just talk to anybody that's in there, got people going crazy during this pandemic. I'm like, all right, cool, what else do I need to do? So in between them sending the paperwork over to me, there was something to go down with one of the city workers that did not bring me an email to say that it was time to come back down, and I didn't get a piece of mail. So when they did come back, they were like, hey, why didn't you do anything? I'm like, well, I submitted my permit. If there was something wrong with it, you guys have been coming down here for everything else. I haven't seen anyone. So they say, oh, well, you were supposed to get this done. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get it? Oh, well, we didn't know how you were supposed to get it. So therefore, I'm a month behind. Not that I don't want to comply, because I've been in business here in West Palm for 9 years now this month, and all of my things have been compliant. I'm licensed with every single thing. So it's not that I don't want to fix the issue, it's just the way that it has been presented to me. Once we finally got a permit after going back and forth with, you know, whether it be the cities and the, you know, fire department and like all this different stuff or whatever, and I do plan to take care of it. If there's a problem, I'll take care of it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're making good faith efforts to get this resolved. I don't know how much work has to be done to get you into a situation where the building is set up to run the nail salon. What's before me today is a code enforcement violation, alleging a violation of city code that relates to the Florida Building Code for failure to get a building permit. Now, a building permit has been obtained. Based on what I'm seeing, it was not obtained within the time specified in the notice, and I'll look to the city attorney as well, but I think that the limit of my ability to afford any relief in this case I could issue a finding of fact, but I think that they're in compliance with what they were cited with, based on what I've heard.
May I ask
Yeah,
Mr. Montello
please.
first? Mr. Montello, would it be your testimony then that, based on what you've told us, the permit has actually been issued? Is that correct?
The permit has been issued, yes. That
Okay,
was the
so-
105.1 code section.
Okay, so is there anything about 105.1 that has not been complied with yet in your belief?
No, 105.1 has been complied.
Okay. And in your notice of violation, was there a deadline? In your notice of violation, was there a deadline date where they had to comply with this violation and they didn't comply until after that date?
Yes, I believe Mr. Moser noted that within 10 days. See, I took this case over around December 2nd or 3rd,
Okay.
okay? Mr. Moser was out with knee surgery, so it kind of just fell on me. But if you look at his violation, it's 10 days Sorry,
And your testimony was August 13th is when that,
yeah, August 13th. So they didn't comply by then.
Okay.
That's really not, but the city, they did comply with what we have to work on now is a time limit of when it can be done by, so that the neighbors, for the offensive smells.
Special magistrate, I would agree finding of fact.
I'm sorry?
I would agree finding of fact, yeah.
So, I think that, so let me ask the city, are you asking for a finding of fact in this case?
I would, sir.
Okay. So let me just come back over to Ms. Gamble. Basically, what we've been talking about is you were cited with a code violation for not getting a building permit. You got a building permit, so you're not in violation of what you were cited with. You did not get the building permit in the time specified in the notice, so what I can, really the most I can do in this case is enter an order that says you were in violation, but you haven't since then complied. The relevance of that is that if you were ever to violate the same code section again within the next 5 years, you could be determined to be a repeat violator. So that's really the only consequence to that, but there would be no fines assessed. The city's concern, as expressed through the testimony, is how much time it's now going to take for you to get the work done before you can open. My understanding is a building permit has a lifespan of 6 months, within which time some activity has to occur, whether that's an inspection or whatever. And the building permit, according to the testimony, was issued on December 23rd. I don't know what's happened since then, but you are operating under an active current building permit right now. So, I'm also, I don't believe it's within my jurisdiction to tell you whether or not you can operate your business prior to this work being done. It sounds like, based on the testimony I've heard, that may be an issue, so it would be to your benefit, obviously, to get the work done as soon as possible so that you can operate your business lawfully as soon as possible. I'm not sure that there's any additional guidance that I can give in this case. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
No. I mean, besides, just like I was telling you from before, when they say when I very first submitted the paperwork, when the permit or what have you wasn't, I guess things weren't checked off or what have you, I was never notified that certain things weren't being passed. I didn't know. So once the city guy went out, I guess, I don't know, once I spoke with Chris, he was telling me, I guess there was a way I should have been able to look it up, but I'm fairly new to, as far as like getting permits and stuff like that. So I didn't know. I thought I was either going to get a mail or Harold was either going to come by, because they were coming by, every day. So once Harold went out, I guess that's probably why I didn't hear anything else, because he wasn't there anymore. But then Chris started coming by and he was like, hey, you were supposed to do this. I'm like, well, where's my paperwork? He was like, I didn't have anything. So I would have complied earlier. I just didn't know. If Chris wouldn't have come, I probably would have never gotten anything. Because like I said, they were coming every day. That's how I knew, kind of, even though it was aggravating, that's how I kind of knew what was going on and what I needed to do next. Other than that, once Chris got there, he was the one to tell me, like, hey, this is the website. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, and you should get something in the mail. Watch your mail. Then I was like, okay, I finally got something. And I would let him know, like, hey, I got something. But other than that, I wasn't getting anything but an actual, like I said, person coming there to visit my tenants and or myself.
All right, thank you. Let me come back. Anything else from the city on this one?
Not for me, I don't know if.
No.
Okay. Well, we have proper notice. The respondent is present. The city has proper posting and mailing documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I'm going to issue a finding of fact in this case. I will find that the respondent was in violation of section 105.1, but has complied, but that compliance did not occur within the time specified in the notice of violation. That's really the limit of what I can do in this case. As I said, it would be to your benefit to have the work completed correctly under the building code as soon as possible, so that that can be inspected, signed off, and then you can get going with running your business. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you both very much.
How long did he say?
Number 2, 511 Churchill Road, CE 19080217. Number 2, 511 Churchill Road.
Morning. Luis Crespo, plumbing inspector at the time. I cited the property for work being done without a permit for building, electrical, mechanical, and roof. Two of them have been complied, but still mechanical and roofing has not been complied. And we have been going back and forth with the contractor and going forward. Still, we require a roof and a mechanical permit to be issued for compliance.
It's single-family residential
Yes, sir.
renovation?
Fine, yes, sir.
All right, so there's still roofing and mechanical work
That was done. It was-
without a permit?
Correct.
And those are the two that remain outstanding?
Yes, sir.
The electrical and building and plumbing have all been resolved?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Does the city have a recommendation in this case for,
I spoke to the contractor. It's up to the homeowner to tell me when they want to comply by, and I'll give them their time. And if not, after that, we'll start to find.
Okay.
But
all right, yes, ma'am, let me go ahead and get your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
Amanda Walling Glebowski, 511 Churchill Road.
Yes, ma'am.
The install HVAC with new duct and the permit for the re-roof of the flat roof has been opened as of yesterday, I believe. And I have those permit numbers for you, should you need them.
Can you show those to the city? Or if, do you have documents, or you just have the numbers?
I just have the numbers, this
You
was
read
late
those
yesterday.
into the record, and then they can look those up, I think.
yes, all I required the inspections to be done, to be closed, and she
Certainly,
complies.
yeah.
So if we give her 30 days, it's fine.
However long it takes to do the work, I am definitely not a contractor, but the permit fees have been paid and the permits are opened, and we're just waiting for them to come out and assess and
Yes,
schedule
the
inspections.
work's done already, so all we need is inspections, that's all.
Okay, so permits that were issued yesterday, permit fees were paid yesterday. Work is already done, so we just need an inspection.
Correct.
And they need to pass the inspection.
Correct.
Are those, the roofing and the mechanical, is the work sort of tied together, or are they completely separate?
Separate
Separate
permits,
activities?
right,
One's
separate-
not dependent
separate
on the
inspectors.
other? Okay. All right, is there anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
There's nothing relevant.
Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right. We have proper notice, the respondent is present. I am going to find that the property remains in violation as cited based on the testimony that I've heard. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to allow 60 days to get this wrapped up. That should be more than enough time, but with, the way things are going on right now, I don't want to set this up for failure. So I'm going to allow 60 days for compliance, which means you need to get the inspections done, and if they don't pass the first time, whatever adjustments need to be made also have to be done within that time frame. If the compliance is not achieved within that time frame, I'm going to assess daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. So you definitely want to not go past that 60-day mark. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, here's a copy of your order. Ma'am? Next case number 8607 Claremore Drive, CE 21050349. Number 8607 Claremore Drive. Do we have a respondent here for number 8607 Claremore Drive? Michael Burgess.
Good morning. Attilio Belial, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was initially cited on 5/24/21 for work being done without proper permit or inspections. Notice of violation was mailed out on 9/29/21. Certified mail was returned, unclaimed, unavailable to deliver. Certified mail was signed for, yes. Proper posting was achieved on-site at the property and sent via certified mail. Property has since applied for the permits. However, there's no inspections for any of the work that has commenced. We need to have inspections coincide with the status of the project. City's recommending 30 days to obtain inspections. After that, $250 a day.
All right, Mr. Bilal, let me just make sure I understand. First, on the notice, so certified mail was sent the first time and it came back unclaimed, and then you resent it, and then you got a signed green card, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and then you also posted the property?
yes.
Okay,
And it's been posted at City Hall.
thank you. Yeah, all right, so the city has proper notice. We also have a representative of the respondent present, it appears. On the violations themselves, so do I understand correctly, permits have been issued, but now you need to get the inspections on the work that's been done prior to the permits being issued?
Correct.
And then it'll move forward through the normal building permit process?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, let me come over to the respondent. Sir, if you'll tell me your name and address and how you're affiliated with the owner of the property, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Mike Berglass. I live in Boca Raton, and we are the owner. My wife and I both own this property.
My agenda shows that the owner is an LLC, Wendy Buys Houses LLC. Are you a manager of the LLC?
My wife is Wendy. I'm Mike, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
She couldn't
Thank
be here
you.
today. She wasn't feeling well.
Gotcha, go ahead.
Well, basically, in a nutshell, we bought this house back in January as an investment. We just moved here about 2 years ago, so we thought it would be a great idea to invest in this house. Basically threw all of our money into the house, and the reason why the first thing got sent back is because I was forced to sell my house to pay for this one, because we got screwed by a general contractor that basically lied to me from day one, stole about $30,000 from me. We're in the process now of suing him. I had to hire another contractor who's here today to help us out. We got all the permits finally in order. We even did a walkthrough the other day. It was done on December 2nd, and they walked through the house and they signed off that everything was fine. I also have in front of me all the approved permits. I've spoken to Mr. Battles about 5 times. I've spoken to Mr. Belial about 4 times, and everything should be straight away. Here's my contractor, Juan, right here.
Let me provide the city. I don't believe the city has this.
So if you're going to speak, first of all, I just need you to identify yourself for the record, and then
How are you?
then we can go from there.
My name is Juan Negron with Alliance Contracting Services.
Yes, sir.
We are the new contractor on site. The permits, of course, they've been issued. Inspection has been done in order to bring up the property up to inspection status. And I was
So let me
gonna-
stop you there. When you say an inspection, was inspection done by the city or by your company?
No, by the inspector, by the city. That's why I'm
When
trying
did
to-
that happen? Yesterday?
No, this happened on 12/2/21.
Or can you show that to Mr. Belial so we can see?
Yes, that was a job site meeting.
So
That
that's
was
not-
irrelevant to the progress of the job.
Okay.
We need to have, the city needs to have inspections that coincide with the progress of the job.
Okay,
A job site meeting is not a past inspection.
okay. And you're recommending 30 days to get
Yes.
those inspections completed. Do you understand what the city is requiring?
I do, but the reason we had a pre-construction meeting or pre-inspection to construction meeting was to show that during this period of time of the violation, the only thing that was done was mostly demo work and removal of debris from the exterior of the property, as they bought the property in really bad conditions. It's not like they did the work, and that was the reason. So I asked, do I call in a demo inspection? Because I wasn't aware there was a demo inspection.
Okay, well, from what it sounds like to me, the city is requiring another round of inspections before this code enforcement case can be complied out. And they're asking for those to be done within the next 30 days. So my question to you is, can you get those called in and get those done within the next 30 days?
Absolutely. What would they like me to call in? Because there's not such thing as a demo
So
inspection.
let's have
The-
Mr. Bilal
the
clarify that for you while we're all here in the room.
So any work that has commenced by the contractor that you had hired to do the renovations and the construction regarding any trades, if it's electrical, plumbing, mechanical, any work that was done to the home, see the water heater that was removed, anything, there's an addition in the kitchen there, if you scroll down a little bit, there's any work that has commenced without any inspections. If anything has been covered up, it needs to be exposed for inspection.
Again, my point, this property was purchased as is under many of those conditions. When it comes to the work that was performed, as to my knowledge, and clearly the owners, is the demo. So if you want me to call in a job check or something like that so they can verify that no other work has been done other than the demo, as you can see the debris there, is demo from the outside. So what would you like me to call in? Because I tried to call in a demo inspection, and
I
there
don't think
was one.
I think Mr. Bilal told you what he wanted to call in. If you have more questions, I think that you guys can talk about this offline. You've asked a question, Mr. Bilal has given an answer. If there are more questions, I want you to talk about it today before you leave, because I think, based on what I've heard from both the respondent and the city, 30 days is a reasonable amount of time to get these outstanding inspections done and close the code enforcement case. But I want to make sure that you understand what you need to do. So, I mean, other than your question about what exactly to call in, is there anything else, sir, that you want to tell me about the code enforcement case?
No, like I said, I came into the case because the owner was taking advantage.
Yep, and I'm sure everybody
Solve the
appreciates, that you're going to do the good work for them and get this straightened out.
Not a problem.
And not the least of which is the city. Anything else from the city on this one?
That's it.
All right, we have proper notice in this case with the certified mail and the posting. Respondent is present at today's hearing with his contractor. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. Based on the testimony from the contractor and the city, I'm going to allow 30 additional days for compliance, which means that there are outstanding inspections for the permits that have been issued, and those inspections need to occur within the next 30 days. If that does not happen, I will impose daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved. So you want to make sure you get those inspections done within the 30 days so that those daily fines don't kick in. All right, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here's a copy of the order. It's case number 12615 Claremore Drive, CE 211000192, number 12615 Claremore Drive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Joe Valdez, Building Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. 615 Claremore Drive was cited because the customer in the back had been issued a permit to do his fence. As he proceeded to do his fence, he noticed that there were pool equipment and gas lines that were encroaching into the easement, and he could not install his fence. So I contacted the neighbor at 615 and let him know the issue that there was, and we've been back and forth. They think that they shouldn't be cited for something that they didn't do because they bought the house that way. But as you know, when you buy the house, you own everything that's been done to the house. So, and the last notice was put on the door at 12/17/21, and they've been back and forth with the city on what to do, and I think the last thing was they were going to contact the gas company. They did take care of the pool equipment, but they were going to contact the gas company to see what they can do about moving the gas lines. And that's where we're at right now.
All right, so property was posted, City Hall was also posted?
Yes.
And did you do certified mail in this case as well?
I think so, yes.
And was it returned or was it signed?
I do not have that information.
Okay. Really an academic question. We have, looks like a representative for the respondent present. Let me make sure I understand. So the neighbor of this property wanted to install a fence, and they determined when they were doing the survey work that there were pool equipment and gas lines in the easement from this property?
Right.
Okay. And at this time, it's your understanding that the pool equipment has been taken care of, but we're still dealing with the gas company
Yes.
to move the gas lines? All right, let me come over to the respondent. Yes, sir, if you could tell me your name and address, then you could tell me about the case.
Sure. My name is Brian Doan. I'm the owner of the property at 615 Claremore. And so basically, just as a bit of background, this is, for the most part, a civil dispute between me and my neighbor. We disagree as to where the property line is. He believes that certain infrastructure, including the gas line that we're talking about here, is encroaching on his line. There's about 2 inches that we're talking about. And so the violation that the city posted, it cites that 105.1 and the 10.3, which are those kind of procedural, you need to get a permit, you need to get inspections, and we're not disputing that at all. We're more than amenable to doing that. But in communications with the city, it's become apparent that their main concern is that we move it back, and so that we can placate the neighbor. And again, that's a civil dispute. The neighbor and I disagree as to where the property line is. And so the city is effectively using their authority to assist the neighbor and get involved in this civil matter. And so, again, we're fine. We're moving ahead with, I've contacted a plumber. He's come out and he's inspected the issue. He's going to give me a quote. From what in my talkings with various contractors over the last few months as this has unfolded, my understanding is not just a simple, oh, you need to move this private gas line back 2 inches, it'll be easy. No, there's going to be a bunch of repiping necessary underneath potentially the pool area. It seems like it's going to be a big, very costly project. And again, it's 2 inches that we're talking about. And the city cites the easement as an encroachment on the easement as an issue that needs to be remediated, but it doesn't really make sense to me, and I've tried to get some clarity from the city on that, because it's not a right-of-way walking easement, it's a utility easement. There's electrical lines in the back of on the fence line, and there's a power pole in my backyard, and the lines go up 20 feet, so any stuff that's in the easement area, it's not preventing the utility easement from being used the way it's intended to be used. So, again, the procedural, we're working on the procedural components, the need to get the permit. There's going to be a guy that's coming out Thursday or Friday of this week to dig up the area, basically, and to kind of get a better assessment on what needs to be done to comply. So the permitting and the inspection we're all on board with. The thing that we disagree with and we think is more of a civil matter and that the city is getting involved with unnecessarily is the need to move it back.
So, a question if you know the answer. how many linear feet of gas line are we talking that is allegedly in the wrong place?
I don't know it's like. I
Like
have
a couple of
picture.
feet
I
or
have a picture. Do you
50
wanna see?
feet or?
I can show you a picture of it with that.
Just ballparking.
A foot, I mean, it goes up from the ground and then over, and then the line is like, or the alleged line is kind of right, like 2 inches. So we're talking about a foot, but that's above ground. Underneath ground, we don't know. But I've talked with a couple contractors with Florida Public Utilities, and everyone I've spoken to seems kind of dismal about the situation, like it's going to be a big project to get this thing moved 2 inches.
Okay, well, I want to ask the city a couple of additional questions based on your testimony that there is a dispute about where the property line is located. So can you give me a little better explanation of where the property line is, where this easement is, and
Well, the easement is
and
in
what
the-
evidence the city has that it's in the wrong place?
It's in the backyard. You know, just to clarify, we never wanted to cite it. We tried to resolve the issue without citing. You know, we went to the neighbor, we called them, said, look, he's trying to put in his, his fence. If you could, between you two, resolve the situation, you moved your equipment. We never wanted to cite it, so it went on for a while. And it got to the point, the neighbor, started, he wanted to put his his fence in, and we never got anything from the neighbor at 615. So we're more than happy to allow him, we don't want to cite, we don't want to fine him anything. I mean, if he can take care of the situation, we're fine with that.
Let me ask this question. If the pool equipment and the gas lines were not encroaching in the easement, would there still be a code violation for those facilities having been installed without a permit?
No, absolutely not. If they were not encroaching, they should never be encroaching.
No, I understand, but either a permit was issued or a permit wasn't issued.
We couldn't find any record of any permit being issued for the gas line. The pool was built, many years ago, so I couldn't find anything showing,
So is your
inspections.
testimony that when it was installed a long time ago, it was done without a permit, or the city has no records of whether or not there was a permit?
Right now, we have no record or not that there was a permit for the pool equipment. The pool was done with permits.
Back 2004,
But
2005.
the pool equipment could have been moved after,
We put in a
it's
records
fine.
request with the city to try to.
I'm sorry, sir.
My apologies.
No, if you can get closer to the microphone, I'm happy to hear what you have to say.
I was just saying, we have paid for and put in a records request for this, from the city to see because there was a bunch of permits issued when the pool was installed back in 2004, 2005, but we're trying to get the details of those to see if there was acquiescence by the city and acceptance of the pool line. And also, I don't know if this is relevant, but, throughout the years, the city has, we've only owned it since April, but in August, the city came, we had Florida Public Utilities, they had to move the meter back, and gas had to be shut off. And then, before it could be shut back on, a code inspector had to come and assess the gas situation and verify that it was safe to be turned back on. So there has been some sort of acceptance or approval by the city, but
So work has been done on the existing gas system, properly permitted work, as it exists today, shut off, turn back on, and that sort of thing?
the only work that's been performed so far, again, at the bequest of the neighbor, was moving the gas meter, which Florida Public Utilities was all entirely involved with, and before gas could be shut back on, the city had to come and inspect that and verify it was safe to be turned back on, so. But the neighbor was not satisfied with the meter because the line hadn't been touched, and so he was demanding that the line also be moved. And so that's when these citations started coming in at the behest of the neighbor.
All right, and then another question for the city. So, Mr. Doan testified that the encroachment is something like 2 inches. Is that accurate?
I'm not 100% sure what the encroachment is. I know it is encroaching. He has a line, he has a survey that shows it encroaching.
Well, so that's the question, how does the city know? I've really been given no
Well,
evidence.
we know, he has a survey that he turned in when he turned in his, for his fence permit, and the survey does show the encroachment.
Is that in the record? Is that something I can look at?
I don't have that with me, but it should be in the records with the city.
And then let me ask Mr. Doan a question. So you indicated there's a dispute about that. Are there conflicting survey documents that show the property line in different places, or
We had a survey done before we purchased. We didn't see the survey till after the closing, and actually the day we moved in was when the neighbor came over and confronted my wife on our doorstep and said, "You need to move the fence back." So we've kind of had this nightmare since day one back in April. But we got the survey after the fact because we wanted to investigate it. We wanted to be, good neighbors. And it showed, yes, on the right side of the fence, there was an encroachment. And, we've been working with the neighbor trying to find some resolution. And we've agreed, fine, do what you want with the fence. We don't care so much about the fence. So he's gone away. He's taken down his fence and he's taken down our fence, portions of it. We agreed on the right side, yes, there is an encroachment. That needs to be remediated. We're completely amenable to that. In the middle and the left section is where it's kind of unclear, and the survey was based on where the fence was previously. That has since been upended and moved by the neighbor. We had the surveyors come out and draw a line from the property markers that seemed to match with the survey, and I've kind of stayed back from that area of the property, but I think this neighbor, he's building the fence himself, so he's been moving things around, and he started constructing part of the fence on the right side where we agreed there was an encroachment, and at that time it seemed like the line had been moved to a different area and it showed a much larger encroachment. So that's kind of where we're at.
All right. Did you say the gas company's coming out to take a look at this?
Many a times, yes.
Is there anticipated follow-up in terms of what a resolution is with the gas company to move the line?
Well, Florida Public Utilities, they dealt with the meter, and I tried to get them to deal with the line, but they said, we don't touch the private line, you need to get a contractor to deal with that. So now I've contacted an independent contractor, a plumber, to come out, and he, again, last week was when he kind of inspected it for the first time, and as with what Public Utilities said, it's not just a simple move it back 2 inches, it's kind of a big, it seems like it'll be a big undertaking, so they're gonna dig it on later this week and kind of see what's underground, because I think that's where the issue lies. Once we can figure out a plan, we're more than amenable to getting permits for this old work that was performed way back when, and getting an inspection performed. But preferably we wouldn't have to commence with all this work that the city is asking us to do, because it seems like there's been approval over the years, and there hasn't been an issue until the neighbor asked the city to kind of intervene on his behalf. And so that's kind of our position, is that this is a civil matter that we don't think the city should be getting so much involved in.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else from the city? Here's what I have a lot of questions about this case. I'm gonna hate myself next month, but I'm gonna continue this until my February agenda, because during that time, I'd like you to hear from the contractor that's coming out to look at the underground lines. I'd like to see surveys. I want to see exactly what we're talking about here, because I'm based on the testimony, it's very unclear to me exactly what we're dealing with, and I'd like a better explanation as to, regardless of where the pool equipment and the gas lines were placed, why either a permit was issued or it wasn't. And if they were put in the wrong place, let me say it this way. If a permit was issued and they were put in the wrong place, then you're not in violation of anything, because they were cited with this work being done without a permit. If the work was done without a permit and it was put in the right place, it seems to me that would still be a violation, because the issue, or what's been cited, is doing work without a permit, not putting the gas lines in the wrong place. So I want some clarification on that from the city. I'd like you to, if you're able to get that information from your contractor, but I'm not going to issue a ruling in this case today. I don't think that that's appropriate based on the evidence and what I've heard. There's too many questions, so. And if you're able to work this out in the meantime, great. I encourage continued forward progress on trying to resolve this outside of code enforcement. I'm not sure
Yes.
code enforcement is the right solution to this anyway, but my next agenda is February 2nd, so I'm going to continue this to February 2nd, and I'd like to have that additional information available at that hearing to the extent that's humanly possible. All right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you both very much.
Okay, we have 3 more building cases with no respondents present. Number 9, 1200 South Flagler Drive, 1803, CE 2110019, number 9.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tilio Belisle, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was originally cited on October 1st of 2021 for guest bathroom and AC replaced, a walk-in tub, lavatory relocated without proper permits or inspections. Notice of violation was mailed on November 18th of 2021 via certified mail, regular mail. City received proper posting at City Hall. No forward progress has been obtained to obtain any of the permits required for this work that has commenced. City's recommending 30 days. After that, $200 a day.
All right, so the posting was on the property and at City Hall. What was the date of that? Is that
Let me
the
see
October
here.
1st date?
Notice of violation was mailed on November 18th of 2021. Affidavit was posted on November 17th, 2021.
Okay. And then certified mail came back unclaimed, I gather, since it was posted?
Certified mail unclaimed, yes.
All right. But with the posting, the city does have proper notice. Even though there's no one here on behalf of the respondent, based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find that the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require 30 days for compliance, and that would require them to obtain all the necessary permits in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
There's been no action at all. Failing that,
permits
there will
and-
be daily fines of $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Number 10, 732 Franklin Road, CE 2108084.
Hello again.
Yes.
Okay, this is for 732 Franklin Road, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This was a property that was cited for interior renovations done without permits. Was cited on 8/5/21 and given I think it was 30 days, and then we give an extension at 9/6. We posted the affidavit on 11/18, and it was posted at City Hall. And since then, they have applied for permits. So we're willing to give them 60 days to have those permits approved. After that would be $100 fine.
You say 1 or 2?
1.
Thank you. Okay. So they've been applied, but they haven't been issued yet? They're
Exactly.
still in process?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I will find proper notice with the mailing and the posting in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence I've reviewed, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, thank you.
Number 11, 711 Macy Street, CE 210800085.
Me again. Okay, this was a property that was cited for having an illegal carport encroaching on the easement. And they were cited on 8/6/21, given an extension 10/25. Affidavit posted 11/18/21, also posted in City Hall. And this property also has applied for permits. So we are willing to give them a 60-day extension also. After that, $100 a day. Fine.
All right. With the mailing and the posting, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 additional days for the respondent to comply. Thereafter, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next case, number 34107 Virginia Terrace, CE 2111036, number 3.
John Frosca, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. This property was cited for a repeat violation for overgrowth, unsanitary conditions, and obstruction of the sidewalk. Those are their 3 repeat violation codes. The other code that we have is uncontained construction debris, which is part and parcel to the unsanitary conditions, since this is a construction site. Property was noticed on 11/30/2021, and certified mail was sent out. For the notice of violation, notice of hearing, the certified mail was returned. The code complaint was originated by the neighbor for a dead possum in an abandoned construction site. The code officer that usually handles this zone has been out, so when she made the complaint to me, I thought, well, I got to see it. And since I saw it and had firsthand, I said, I got to cite this. So the notice went out, and the owner did call me, and so did his contractor. So they did take and make efforts to comply with this and cooperate, which, made me very happy. They took a really concerted effort to correct these violations, which makes our job a lot easier. So when I noticed compliance was complete, it was on December 15th of 2021, approximately 14 days out of compliance. I think what the city would be asking, because of their cooperation and their ability to clean this up right away, that it would be a one-time fine of $100.
So is everything in compliance at this point?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Did a good job, too.
All right, so it'd be a finding of fact on 74-4D3, and then a finding of repeat violation for everything else with a one-time $100 fine is your
Right, that, Manager, say that was put in there just to let contractors know and the owner know that they must contain their contract debris on site. They have to have the proper containment. Just like the case that we heard before, you saw no containment for that.
Right. Okay. Let's see, let me come over and talk to the respondent. Sir, if you could tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Jorge Morel, and I'm the contractor over there.
How are you related to the case?
I'm the contractor.
You're the contractor? Okay, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Then I did the job like he wanted, fast that I can. That's it.
Okay, well, I think I hear sincere appreciation from the city and the work that you did to get this straightened out. So, you know, a case like this could have resulted in thousands of dollars of daily fines. However, based on the testimony I've heard, I'm comfortable accepting the city's recommendation in this case. I will find proper notice. I will find, for 74-4D3, I'm going to find that the property was in violation, but was brought into compliance at a date subsequent to the date required in the notice of violation. I will find for the other code sections that the property was in violation for 1 day, that those were repeat violations based on the 200-80175 case number. I'll assess a one-time fine of $100 for those repeat violations, and that'll
Thank you.
close this out, okay? Thank you very much.
Next case, number 15333 Marlboro Road, CE 211103337. Number 15333 Marlboro Road.
Good morning. Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on November 23rd. Notice of violation was posted at City Hall and the property on November 29th. Certified was mailed on November 24th, 2021. This property was cited for installation of fence without permit. I have made contact with the property owner on several occasions. The property owner did apply for a fence permit. However, the owner is still pending to obtain the permit due to the property ownership is in a live-in trust. So Robert Brown, which is the building official, advised the owner to hire a contractor to resubmit the permit application. As of today, the owner is in agreement with the city's recommendation, and the city is requesting an additional 90 days to gain compliance, or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay. And so the fence is in, it just needs to be permitted and inspected, is that right?
Correct.
All right. All right, let me hear from the respondent. Yes, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Rosario Gomez, and my address is 333 Marlboro Road.
And are you able to speak for the trust in this case?
I am the trustee.
I'm sorry?
The trustee.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything additional you'd like to tell me beyond what Ms. Binns put on the record?
No.
All right, it sounds like there's just some issues in working through the trust, and but I think 90 days you'll be able to get that all taken care of.
Yes,
It's 3 months.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No.
All right. And then in this case, we do have proper notice. Respondent's representative is present as well. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited. I'm going to accept the city's recommendation, allow an additional 90 days for compliance, which should just involve, I guess, paying the fee.
She paid the fee already.
Oh, it is paid.
It's just that she would have to hire a contractor to submit a new application because of the
Okay.
status of the property.
Okay, so then it's just a matter of getting the contractor on board and getting the
Correct.
inspection done.
Yes.
I think 90 days should be enough time to take care of that, too. 90 days to comply. I'm going to do $50 a day if compliance is not achieved. I know the city was asking for a little more, but I'm going to reduce that. I'm going to do 50 a day, but you don't want even that to hit, so make sure you get the work done within the 3 months, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Gomez? Number 163108 Greenwood Avenue, CE 2111045. Number 163108 Greenwood Avenue.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
J. Francis, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This case is in reference to a property that was issued a notice of violation for safe egress, clean and sanitary, excessive growth,
And
paint.
let me get you closer to the microphone
Can you
with
hear
that mask. I'm having a real hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
That's a little better, yeah.
Good. J. Francis, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement.
Thank you, Mr. Francis.
This case is in reference to the property that was issued a notice of violation for safe egress, clean and sanitary, excessive growth, paint, landscape maintenance, lighting standards, garbage can placement, hurricane hazards, and landscaping of the swale and parkways. The notice of violation was issued and certified mail sent on 11/9/21. Certified mail received 11/15/21. Property was posted and City Hall at 11/16/21. I have spoken to a relative of the property owner. All violations are non-compliant except clean and sanitary and excessive growth. The city is asking for 90 days to obtain compliance or a $50 a day fine to be assessed thereafter.
So everything's complied except for clean and sanitary and excessive growth?
Those are the ones that have been complied.
Oh, those are complied?
Yes.
Everything else still remains
Still pending.
outstanding?
Yes.
Gotcha. I got it backwards.
Mr. Francis?
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify, you're withdrawing the 943024, is that
Yes.
correct? Very good.
Okay. All right, let me come over to the respondents. Folks, if you can tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Charles Gathigan, 14767 96 Lane North, West Palm Beach. The house belonged to my sister.
Yes, sir.
She got sick in January and had several contractors come to look at the house, and they told her the house just needed to be tore down.
Okay.
She got sick in January, and then in May, she was admitted to the hospital with pneumonia, and she passed away May 4th. May 5th? Yeah. May 5th, she passed away with no will, no anything, and I'm her brother. So,
You're trying to work through this.
And there is a half-sister, and then there is a deceased half-sister who has 3 children. We've got an attorney. It has to go through probate. We can't do anything to the house at all. We have no rights, no control. We're trying to get our personal property out of it.
Sure.
It's been very difficult, and we have to have all 5 people have to agree for anything to be done to the house.
This is a vacant property? Nobody's
Vacant, yes, and
living
It's
there?
boarded up so that nobody can get in and harm themselves, and the house does need to be torn down.
All right.
We have a contractor that's interested in buying the property once it's finished through probate, but we can't do anything without it going through the court system.
and the attorney told us it could be 3 to 6 months with the court system backed up the way they are with COVID.
And that was going to be my next question, if you had any sense for what kind of time frame we're talking. So that's going to be a while. But it looks like, you did what you could do. You took care of the trash and debris, and you took care of the overgrowth in the grass, which you were able to.
There's some debris in the backyard where somebody broke into the shed after they broke into the house, and I secured the doors and everything. Is one of the reasons we were cited was because the doors have a board over the back door, so they can't get in. But they've broken into the house several times. They've stolen all the food out of the refrigerator and everything else like that. They started a fire in the kitchen to cook the food, and so they also broke into the shed and threw all the stuff from the shed out in the yard. Now, I will go clean that up. I have been trying to keep the grass cut and stuff like that, so.
Let me ask the city a question. Given that this property is vacant, are the alleged violations of 18-100 and 1895B regarding the boarding of the windows, are those still violations?
The egress.
It's based on what I'm hearing, we don't want this house exposed if it's vacant, and we don't want it.
If the house is vacant, it's Mark Joyce. If the house is vacant, then I think we could withdraw the safe egress violation.
Okay.
If the house is vacant and boarded up and secured.
And was there any, for a vacant house that's boarded, is there a, we've talked about boarding certificates in the past. Is that something that the city would require?
Right.
Yes, I don't know how they're going to obtain one, but.
Because they're not the owners, right.
Yeah, they don't own it, so.
Well, I appreciate the withdrawing the 18100 and 1895B. Those are the ones that deal with boarding the house. And it sounds like you're in an impossible situation. You can't do anything until this goes through the system. I know you said your attorney told you 6 to 9 months. Is that what you said? 3 to 6 months. Is there a court date set right now?
We've just got papers just recently that showed that he has filed the probate papers.
Okay.
There were issues with getting the last signature of one of the nephews.
All right. Well, I would,
I'm making due diligence as fast as I can to try to get this status, get this taken care of.
here's what I'm inclined to do in this case. City has proper notice for the code violation. You folks are here. They have the proper documentation in the file, so I do find proper notice. Based on the testimony that I found, I do find that the property has complied with 18106A and 18106B. That's the clean and sanitary and the excessive growth. Make a note for the record that 18100, 1895B, and 1430224 have been withdrawn. The city's not pursuing those violations. But that still leaves 18106G regarding the paint, 18106K. Regarding other landscape maintenance, 7434A1J regarding garbage can, and 744C1 regarding hurricane hazard, and 94442E regarding the swale. I'm not going to set a compliance deadline. I don't think that that's appropriate given the circumstances. So what I would like to do, though, is set this for a status hearing in 90 days. And hopefully by then you'll either have a court date, we'll have had a court date, or we'll have one scheduled. And, you know, if you get a court date that is beyond that 90-day deadline, let's just see, that's going to put this, my April agenda, which is April 6th. If you get a court date that's after April 6th, but you get it, I would be fine if you just let the city know. That way you don't have to come back, but at least at the status hearing, I'll know when the court date is. And I would be inclined, you know, assuming the status quo is maintained and things don't get worse in terms of the condition of the property, I'd be inclined to continue this out beyond that court date and before I set a compliance deadline, so that we get a feel for how this is going to work through the system, because I understand your hands are tied. You can't really do anything. So all that being said, again, I do set this for a status hearing on April 6th. When you get the court date, let the city know, and then we'll proceed from there. Of course, you're welcome to come back if you like, but I don't want to make this any more difficult for you than it is anyway. So let's do it that way, and we'll see where we are at the beginning of April, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's been a very hard situation. That was his family home. I mean, that's where he grew up, and it's just sad.
Yep, understood. But I mean, I'm seeing that you're doing what you can in good faith, and you're not just shrugging your shoulders and walking away from it. So I appreciate that. So I'm willing to work with you as well. So that will be my order, and we will see where we are in a couple months. All right, thanks, folks.
Next case, number 26-11103 Glenmore Drive, CE 21110162.
Magistrate, I need to be sworn in.
Oh. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 9th, the property at 11103 Glenmore Drive was cited for rental license violation and certificate of use. The property was posted December 20th. Certified mail was sent November 10th. Certified mail was received November 12th. At the time I observed the violation, I did make contact with a gentleman that claimed to be a tenant. At that time, I did observe some type of construction work going on in the unit. I did pass that along to the building officials to investigate. I also did have a conversation with the respondent here. I did explain to her what needs to be done to get the property into compliance. With that being said, city's recommending 30 days to bring the property into compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
All right, thank you, Mr. McFarland. Let me hear from the respondent. Yes, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
I'm Mrs. Chasen. I live on Ocean
Let me get you
Drive.
closer to the microphone. You might need to pull that down a little bit.
I'm Mrs. Chasen, and I live on Ocean Drive in Singer Island. And I have this property from since my son died on Glenmore in the Sterling Villages. It's a condominium.
I'm having a really hard time understanding you, ma'am. I'm sorry. I may need to talk a little louder. That's fine.
Okay, did you hear my name and address and everything?
Did you get that on the record?
Yes, I heard Mrs. Chasen from Singer Island. Yeah, and then I own the property on Glenmore Drive since my son passed away. I don't know when, maybe 5 years ago, but I'm the owner here.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't know you were supposed to get a permit to have a renter in a condo. And I'm undergoing cancer treatments, so I got this from the door. I have a ton of mail at home, I just don't open it all because I'm not well. I try to just open and pay the bills. The tenant, I terminated the lease, he terminated the lease and returned the keys, so the place is vacant. I didn't know I was supposed to get a permit to rent a condo, I'm sorry.
So you're not renting it at this time?
No.
Are you planning to rent it, or are you going to let it sit vacant?
No, probably let it sit. I have his termination of lease paper, and I have this thing that he also posted on the door. I haven't seen the unit inside. I'm actually going there today to see it.
Okay.
Because I don't get out often. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But right now, I'm not going to do anything, I don't think.
All right,
I'm
let
gonna
me
see
ask
what's
the
in
city
there.
a question. So in a situation like this, is there a process that the city has if a landlord decides, you know what, I'm done renting, I'm not renting to anybody, I'm just going to let it sit unoccupied? Is there something that they can do to go down that path rather than go through the inspection process to get the license and the certificate?
Yes, there's a form that she needs to complete. If she walks across the way, she can get the form completed there.
So it sounds like if you're not going to rent it, and, you know, I am going to find that the property was in violation, but to comply, there's two different paths. You can either go down the path and get the inspections to get the license and the certificate to allow you to rent it, or you can fill out documentation that says, I own the property, but I am not. I think it's an affidavit, is that right? So,
Yeah, non-rental affidavit.
so you can sign an affidavit that says, I'm not going to rent it anymore, and that'll resolve the case as well.
Yeah, that will solve
So,
the code compliance case.
your choice.
I can't understand. I have trouble hearing.
Okay, so if you're
I don't
not,
want to be found in violation of anything.
if you're not going to rent the property, there's another course of action you can take. You can sign a form where you're promising the city you're not going to rent it, and then you don't have to worry about getting inspections and getting the license and getting the certificate. If you, on the other hand, are going to seek a new tenant, then you have to get the inspections and the license and the certificate. You can, the code enforcement case will be resolved whichever path you take, but it's up to you which direction you want to go.
I don't really know yet because I'm going to go look at the unit, and I don't know how long it takes to get a renter permit or whatever.
Well, you have to apply for it, and then the city has to come out and do inspections, and if everything passes, then they issue the proper documentation. So since you're undecided, I mean, here's what I'm going to do in this case. The city does have proper notice. You are here at the hearing. The city properly posted the property and sent the appropriate notices through the mail. Based on what I've heard, that there was a tenant. There isn't now, but there used to be, so I do find that the property was in violation. I'm going to give you 60 days to decide. You're going to have 60 days to either do the non-rental affidavit or get the inspections and get the rental license issued.
Okay.
But that'll give you 2 months to make your decision and proceed whichever course you feel is
The fact
appropriate.
that I'm in
But if you
violation-
don't, you need to do one or the other, because if you don't, then I am going to impose daily fines of $200 per day for the violation of the rental code requirements.
Okay.
So you do
And
need to,
so
I
the
understand you got a lot
violation-
going on, but you need to take care of this so that
Okay.
those daily fines don't start to
So
accrue.
there's no fine if I decide and get one or the other within 60 days?
That's what you need to do, one or the other.
Okay.
All right? Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
42939 34th Street, CE 21110284, number 42939 34th Street.
Good morning, Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 939 34th Street was cited on November 22nd of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on December 1st of 2021, and certified mail was sent on November 22nd of 2021. The property was cited for exterior wall repair, a repeat violation, and exterior paint. I've had contact with the property owner. The city is asking for $50 per day since the property was cited on 11/22 of 21 until compliance is achieved. This is a repeat violation under a code case that was cited in June. Actually, I'm sorry, the previous code case, CE 190506161. The order was entered on 6/19 of 2019. The property did come into compliance on 7/22 of 19. However, it's in violation of the same two code sections.
Just a question on the agenda, on the repeat. It lists the case number that you cited, then there's a reference says ordered on June 19th of 2021.
Yes, I do apologize. That is a typo. It's supposed to say June 19th of 2019.
Thank you. I was just checking on that. Okay, so the old case, the order was signed June 19th of 2019. It came into compliance on July 22nd of 2019.
Correct.
Fell back into violation, was observed on November 22nd of 2021.
Correct.
And has it come into compliance?
It has not.
So your city's recommending $50 a day beginning November 22nd until
Correct,
compliance is
until
achieved.
compliance is achieved.
Thank you. I got it. All right, let me come over to Respondent. Tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
I'm Dolores Marshall, and this is my husband Fred. I'm doing the speaking. I'm really kind of confused on the date that she gave for the first one, because I don't recall, the first violation. I think she said June. Was that June?
Yes, ma'am.
But anyway, on this one, we have started work on trying to complete the violation from the front of the house. We have already had some work done on that. And as far as the painting, we're going to take care of that as soon as we are able to. It says we need to paint the exterior of the structure, and the rotten wood, we have taken care of that part. And and the roof, we have had some work done on the roof. So our next thing is to get it finished and painted. And I would like to ask for a 60-day extension if possible, so we can get this done. Because right now, financially, we are not at the point where we can do all this at one time.
Okay. Can you tell me on the 2019 case, if that complied within the time frame, and if it didn't, what were the daily fines that were assessed?
From the 2019 case, based on, it was cited by another code officer. Per the notes, and the computer did say that it came into compliance on July 22nd, but it is in violation again, so.
No, I'm curious as to what the original order in that case would have done. Did it assess $50 a day fines or $25?
I think it was $100 per day, 30
That
days or
assessed
$100.
$100 a day fines?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, ma'am, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
No.
All right.
All I'm saying is that we're going to try to get it done to the best of our ability. That's it.
All right. Give me just a second here. Okay, so the city's recommendation is $50 a day beginning November, when the violation was observed after November 22nd through today. Is 45 days at $50 a day, which is $2,250, and continuing until compliance is achieved. The respondent is asking for a extension of time for, you said 2 months?
Well, if we can do 3 months, I would appreciate it.
Let me see what the city's position is on that request.
It is a repeat violation, and as we are asking for the $50, the city would recommend reducing it to $25 if she's asking for the additional 60 days, but it still would be the $25 per day until compliance, as it is a repeat violation.
Okay. All right, here's what I'm going to do, ma'am, and then, you know, the city the city's point is well taken. This is a repeat violation. This is the second time this property's been found in violation of these codes within the last couple of years. So, although I'm not going to delay imposition of the fine, I'm going to impose a fine that's less than the original recommendation. I am going to impose, well, let me do it this way. First, I do find proper notice. The respondent is present. The city has proper notice documentation in its file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I find that that violation is a repeat violation based on case 2019-050161, which was ordered on June 19th of 2019 and came into compliance on July 22nd, 2019. In this case, I'm going to assess daily fines of $25 per day beginning November 23rd until compliance is achieved. So that will be a fine of $1,125, which gets you through today. But that's going to continue to accrue at $25 a day until you get this complied. So you need to get this fixed as soon as you can. And then the only other thing I can tell you is that assuming, you proceed in good faith and get this done as quickly as you're able, I would have no problem hearing a request for a fine reduction after that, and I'd be happy to consider the circumstances and see if a reduction in the total fine amount is appropriate. So that will be my order in this case.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
With the $25 fine, do we have to pay that now or what?
No, in fact, you need to get the work done. That's the first thing that needs to happen, because that will stop the fine from running. And once that's done, you need to call Ms. Clark. You need to tell her you'd finished the work so she can come out and take a look at it and close the code enforcement case. At that time, then you can ask about coming back and requesting a reduction in the total fine amount, but the total fine's going to keep increasing until you get the work done. So that's what you need to do first. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, number 48, 1236 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, CE 211-00148, number 48, 1236 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code.
Good morning.
Oh, I'll wait a few minutes. The property was, certified mail was returned to the city on 10/23/2021. The property was posted on 12/10/2021. The property was cited for exterior repairs, exterior painting, clean and sanitary condition, junk and abandoned vehicles, cleaning up half of right-of-way. Resurfacing of parking lot and restriping of parking lot, outdoor storage and screening of outdoor storage, off-street parking requirements in reference to the striping and the maintenance, landscape maintenance and pave and mark parking lot, and parking space dimensions. So far, what is in compliance is the roof repair around the perimeter of the building. That has been repaired. The junk vehicles have been removed. The
right there.
column
That's
repair.
18105B, the first code section cited.
Yes, 18105B. The exterior repairs to the structure itself has been repaired.
Okay.
34102A, the junk abandoned vehicles have been complied, has been complied. Everything else is outstanding. I do have the proposed contract for the seal coat and scrapping of the plaza, and they are in the process of obtaining the permits. It's just a little something with the survey,
The site survey, correct.
site survey. So they have a little more to do in regards to the landscape requirements for as the landscape beds, for as putting in planting and mulch, I believe it's 2 of them. And some outdoor storage from trash and debris from the roof repair ended up on the side of the building, but they say they're taking care of it, but I took a picture yesterday and it was there. So that's still outstanding. So everything except for exterior repairs to the building and the junk and operable vehicles are outstanding.
Okay.
I'm asking for 90 more days.
90?
Yes, sir. Or $50 per day. Being that this proposal for the parking lot, it is an extensive job, and it could take some time. We don't know about weather, but they're in the process of trying to obtain the permits.
Okay. And you said 50?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I know it's
All right, let me come over to the respondent. Sir, if you could tell me your name and address, and then you can, and I guess how you're affiliated with the LLC, and then you can tell me about the case.
Sure. Michael Cervalli, 1236 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. I'm the property manager for the location.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Ms. Lester is correct. Everything that we've done so far has been completed. There's still a couple of other items that are left on the agenda for us to complete. We've already hired a contractor for our seal coating and striping and the other exterior work for, I think it was patching the holes on the rear side of the building and so forth.
Okay. And then you heard the city's recommendation for 90 additional days. Are you in agreement with that?
We have no objection.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right, then in this case, I do find proper notice. Respondent is present at today's hearing as well. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find that the property has complied with City Code Sections 18105B regarding exterior repairs and 34102A regarding junked and abandoned vehicles, but that all other cited violations remain outstanding. I will accept the city's recommendation, require 90 day or allow 90 additional days for the respondent to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, that's all we have for contested matters at this time. Next case number 4943 Upland Road, CE 211-00233.
I'm sorry, which agenda item is that?
Number 4,
Number 4.
943 Upland Road.
All right.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, 943 Upland Road, was cited October 19th of 21, certified mail mailed out November 12th of 21, City Hall, and the property posted December 15th of 21. It was cited for excessive growth, junk and abandoned vehicles, and outdoor storage. The excessive growth is complied. The other two violations are still outstanding.
Okay.
No contact with the owners. So I'm asking 10 days to comply or $100 a day fine after that.
Okay. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice. Based on testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited, except for compliance with 18106B. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require the respondent to comply within 10 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 5, 1204 Worthington Street, CE 211-20065. Number 5, 1204 Worthington Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 1204 Worthington Street was initially cited on 12/3/21. Certified mail was sent on 12/7/21. Certified mail was returned. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 12/7/21. Property was cited for 26-35A penalties, as this is a repeat violation case. The previous case was CE 210-70079. Property was also cited for 34-102A, junk and abandoned vehicles, and 94-482-A parking requirements, which there's ongoing unapproved parking in the front yard. As of last evening, the following code sections have complied: 34-102A. The remaining code section are 94-482A, the parking requirements, and of course 26-35A penalties. As I said, it is a repeat violation case. In light of the fact that this case went before you particularly back on 8/4/21, the city's requesting a one-time fine of $1,500 in light of the gravity of the violation.
Excuse me, tell me, on the previous case, the 2107-0079, when did that come into compliance?
I
just want to make sure it complied prior to the repeat occurring there.
Well, actually, there was a finding of fact.
Oh, okay. There
Yeah,
was a finding
there-
of fact. So
There
it
was
was
a
in
finding of
compliance.
fact on Code Section 74-34-A-1-J, 94-482A, and 94-71-C. I actually have a copy of the order here, Magistrate, if you'd like to see
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Absolutely.
So if it was a finding of fact, then it was in compliance by the time we got to the hearing. 94-482A.
That is true, Magistrate.
Okay.
That is true.
And then this was observed, tell me again when this repeat violation was observed?
Monique? Can you go to some of the pictures for me, Monique? There's a couple pictures there of when the violations, when I noted some of them, actually. It's not all of them, but when I noted some of them. Okay. Go back, Monique, to the current case. Yeah, the current case, I'm sorry. (1204) Worthington. That was the junk vehicle, but that one was actually removed. There's one for
So November 29th?
November 29th, and if you'll keep going, Monique, if you go further. There's another one for the January 3rd. January 4th. So those are just some of the instances, but there's been, I mean, multiple times that I've observed vehicles there.
All right, and then going forward, because the city's position is property remains in violation of 94-482A.
Yes.
Going forward, and that's a repeat, so what daily fine do you recommend?
The city is requesting a one-time fine of $1,500.
So you don't want daily fines going forward?
No,
Okay.
a one-time fine of $1,500.
Okay. All right, city has proper notice in this case with the return certified mail followed by posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property has complied with 34102A but remains in violation of City Code 94482A. I find that that violation is a repeat violation. Based on case number 21070079, I will accept the city's recommendation, just assess a one-time fine of $1,500, which, however you want to slice it, that can be applied to the 3 days that the city has approved violations, which I think was January 4th, January 3rd, and another date in November. I will accept the city's recommendation.
Thank you.
Number 6, 3215 Windsor Avenue, CE 21110290.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited November 22nd, 2021. Certified mail was received on November 26th, and the notice was delivered December 8th, hand-delivered December 8th. Property was cited for 34102B, 9471C, and 1813J. At this time, the property has complied with 1813J. The two violations that are remaining, the city is recommending 15 days or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
So they fixed the exterior paint?
Yeah, they painted, and I was in contact with the property owner, Ms. Black, with the vehicle. She's just trying to get it removed. She's been under the weather, but she said that someone's supposed to be coming this week to get the vehicles out, so that's why I'm giving her the additional time to get it done.
All right, well, the city has proper notice with the received certified mail, even though the respondent has not appeared. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited, except for City Code 18103J, which has complied. I'll allow the respondent 15 additional days to comply with the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 7, 623 32nd Street, CE 21110242.
Good morning, Joe Petrick, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This repeat violation case is in reference to a single-family residence that was issued a notice of violation via certified mail and posting at City Hall and at the property on November 18th. I first observed this repeat violation on November 17th. This property was cited for the same ordinance violation earlier in 2021, case number CE 21030377, and went to the magistrate hearing and was found in violation in May of 2021. The order required the respondent to comply within 30 days. The respondent complied within that time frame, but I didn't hear from anybody. Just when I took pictures, it showed that it was in compliance at that time.
So it did comply within, pursuant to the order in the original case?
Yes, sir, it did.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it did. I've spoken to a few neighbors regarding the property. According to neighbors, the property is owned by an elderly gentleman who may be in a hospital or may be in the care of some family members. They're not too sure, but they know he hasn't been there. They mentioned to me that they've been taking care of the property for him, cutting and cleaning the lawn because of his health conditions. But it ceased stopped because they understand the family may be involved now, not too sure what the situation is. One of the neighbors did mention that he was in contact with a relative of the property owner, and he would mention to her that there's a pending code enforcement case on it. The city's asking for a fine of $50 a day, starting November 17, 2021, the first day the repeat violation was observed. The city is also asking for an abatement order after 30 days if the property is not cut and clean, has a severe overgrowth, offers a habitat for vermin, insects, and poses a health, safety, and welfare risk to the community. The city's asking for 30 days, due to the neighbors trying to get in touch with the family member, and there may be some health issues or some other issues there that the goal is to get the property cut and clean, not necessarily to fine if there's extenuating circumstances there.
Okay. Well, you do have proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation of City Code 18106A. I find that that is a repeat violation based on the prior case that was placed on the record. I will assess daily fines of $50 per day beginning November 17th and continuing until compliance is achieved. The evidence, in my opinion, clearly shows that the overgrowth constitutes threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. So after 30 days, I will authorize the city to enter the property and abate the violation and assess those costs. And if that brings it into compliance, then that would stop the daily fine from running at that time as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Case number 13700 Tallapoosa Street, CE 211-00423.
Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 28th, 2021. Notice of violation was posted at the City Hall and property on November 1st. Certified mail was sent on October 28th. The property was cited for codes 9471C and 18106A, as well as 7434A, 1H. I have not made contact with the property owner, and the property is still in violation for all code cases cited, 9471C, 18106A, and 7434A, 1H. The city is requesting an additional 10 days to gain compliance, or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
What was the amount?
$50?
10 days?
10 days, or $50.
50.
Yeah.
Thanks. Posting in the certified mail, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent has not appeared at the hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 10 additional days for the respondent to cure the violations. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 14741 Roseland Drive, CE 2111-0190.
Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on November 15, 2021. Notice of violation was posted at City Hall and at the property on November 18. Certified mail was sent on November 16. The property was cited for codes 944A2A and 9471C. I have not made contact with the property owner. The property is still in violation for all code cases, 944A2A and 9471C. The city is requesting additional 10 days to gain compliance, or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
All right, with the posting in certified mail, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. We'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 10 additional days for the respondent to cure the violations. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 17 is complied, 3025 South Terrace Drive, CE 2111-0149. Number 18 is complied, 3025 South Terrace, that's a duplicate of number 17. Number 19, 730 47th Street, CE 21100422.
Good morning, Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm Code Compliance. Property at 730 47th Street was cited on 10/28/21, certified mail, and property was posted on 10/28/21 as well. Property was cited for overgrowth, trash and debris, outdoor storage, and sod in the swell. As of yesterday, the property is still not in compliance. City is requesting additional 30 days to come to compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Everything's outstanding still on this?
Yes.
All right, with the certified mail and the posting, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence I've reviewed, I find property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 20, 738 44th Street, CE 2111-0014.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm, code compliance. Property at 738 44th Street was cited on 11/1/21. Notice of violation, City Hall was posted on 11/2/21. Property was cited for inoperable vehicle, unpaved parking, and outdoor storage. As of yesterday, the only outstanding violation is the outdoor storage. I have not made contact with the owner. City is requesting additional 30 days to come to compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
How many days?
30.
30. Okay. And it's just the outdoor storage at this point?
Correct. He has a whole bunch of stuff on the lot.
Okay, I will find proper notice in this case with the mailing and the posting based on the testimony and the evidence. Find the property remains in violation of City Code Section 9471C, but has complied with the other code sections cited in the notice of violation. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 21, 735 43rd Street, CE 21110015.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm, code compliance. Property at 735 43rd Street was cited on 11/1/21. Notice of violation, City Hall was posted on 11/2/21. Property was cited for livestock on property. They had chickens, outdoor storage, and trash and debris. As of yesterday, the property is still not in compliance. I did not see any livestock when I went by it, so that's complied. And I have not made any contact with the owner. So the state is requesting additional 15 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay. Which one complied?
The livestock.
The 14-1 did.
The chickens.
No more chickens.
Yeah, I didn't see any chickens when I went back,
Okay.
but everything else was outstanding.
All right, and then.
I think they're roaming chickens.
Pardon me?
Roaming chickens.
Okay. And then you do, what was the number of days?
15.
15?
Yes, 15.
Gotcha. And that's really just to clean it up and get the outdoor storage taken care of. So
Correct.
I do find proper notice. I will find property remains in violation of City Code 18106A and 9471C. Find property has complied with 14-1, require the respondent to cure the outstanding violations within 15 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 22, 431 47th Street, CE 21110068.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm, code compliance. Property at 431 47th Street was cited on 11/4/21. Notice of violation, City Hall was posted on 11/5/21. Property was cited for sod in the front yard and outdoor storage. As of yesterday, property is still not in compliance. I have spoken to the owner. She's out of the state. She lives in California. She's asking for 45 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day till compliance is achieved.
Okay. City has proper notice in this case. I will find, based on the evidence and the testimony, that property remains in violation as cited. I have no objection to granting the 45 days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 23, 3200 Turtle Cove, CE 21110034.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 2nd, the property at 3200 Turtle Cove was cited for repair of roof and litter and trash found on property. Property as well as City Hall was posted November 8th. Certified mail was sent November 3rd. Certified mail was returned November 15th. I've had no contact with the property owner. I was contacted by the neighbor complaining of the debris that are coming from the old tarp that was on the roof. They have since replaced the tarp and has not many attempts to repair the roof. With that being said, city's requesting 120 days to repair the roof, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved, and 15 days to come into compliance with the trash and debris, or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
How many days on the trash and debris?
15.
1-5.
Because on Monday I revisited the property and there's still blue tarp on the neighbor's property, on the respondent's property. It's a mess. I mean, they replaced the torn up tarps, but the debris still remain.
Okay. City has proper notice with the posting following the return to certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, the property remains in violation as cited. This will be a bifurcated order. I accept the city's recommendation. I'll require compliance with 18103B within 120 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. I'll allow 15 additional days to comply with 18106I. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 24, 3212 Turtle Cove, CE 21110036.
Good morning, Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 2nd, the property at 3212 Turtle Cove was cited for repair of roofs. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted November 8th. Certified mail was sent November 3rd. Certified mail was returned November 8th. I've had no contact with the property owner. As of Monday, the roof still requires repair. With that being said, the city's recommending 120 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
I think I saw the yeah, okay. All right, with the posting following the return certified mail, the city has proper notice. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 120 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 25, 1715 Village Boulevard, number 206, CE 21110134.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 8th, the property at 1715 Village Boulevard, Unit 206, was cited for rental license violation and certificate of use. On the property, as well as City Hall, was posted November 9th. Certified mail was sent November 9th. Certified mail was returned November 16th. I did have a conversation with the tenant to verify that it is renting. I have had no contact with the property owner. With that being said, city's recommending 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, city has proper notice with the posting following the return to certified mail. Based on testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require 30 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 27, 423 South Chillingworth Drive, CE 21110201.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 15th, the property at 423 South Chillingworth Drive was cited for repair of rotted wood over carport, clean and sanitary, excessive growth, swell maintenance, fence repair, and removal of vehicles parked on grass. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted December 17th. Certified mail was sent November 17th. Certified mail was returned November 24th. As of Monday, the property has come into compliance with the clean and sanitary and excessive growth. The repair of rotted wood still remains. The swell maintenance still remains. The fence repair still remains. And there's still a vehicle being parked on the grass. They removed one, but there's still one remains. With that being said, city's recommending 30 days to come into complete compliance, or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
All right, with the posting and the following the return to certified mail, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property has complied with City Code 18106A and B, but remains in violation of all other code sections that were cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other matters are 11:30? Okay. Number 28, 650 59th Street, CE 211-00206.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October the 15th. Certified mail was sent October the 18th. Certified mail was received October 23rd. This property was cited for 82-144, 22-32A, 18-95A, 18-103J, 18-103E, 18-106E, 105.1, 18-103G, 18-102.3, 18-162A, 18-103-C, 18-103-B, and 18-100. I've had correspondence with the homeowner. He was basically trying to get into the unit, by the tenants who were not letting him get in there to do any of the repairs. Nothing has been complied. I spoke to him about even doing things that were outside, but to no avail. It all still looks the same. So the city is requesting additional 60 days or $250 per day after.
Everything is still outstanding on this case?
Yes, sir.
The violations, okay. You have good notice with the received certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 50 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $250 per day until compliance is achieved.
Is that 60 days?
60 days.
Did you say 60 or?
Yeah, 60.
60 then?
Yes, 60.
I didn't hear you correctly.
Number 29, 714 51st Street, CE 211-00275.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October the 20th. Certified mail was sent October 21st. Certified mail was returned. City Hall was posted October 22nd. This property was cited for 18-106A, 18-106B, 74-34A-1J, 94-71C, 74-4C-3, 18-106G. Complied violations are 18-106A. Remaining violations are 18-106B, 74-34A-1J, 94-71C, 74-4C-3, and 18-106-G. The city is requesting 30 days or $150 per day after. I have spoke with the homeowner. He told me that he would have everything done by the inspection date, but nothing had been done outside of just picking up some trash.
Okay, city has proper notice with the posting following the return to certified mail. Based on testimony and the evidence, I find property has complied with 18106A, but remains in violation of all other code sections cited in the notice. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed till compliance is achieved.
Number 30, 633 53rd Street, CE 211-00276.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October 20th. Certified mail was sent October 21st. Certified mail was returned. City Hall was posted October 22nd. This property was cited for 18-106B, 34-102-A, and 94-482A. Compliant violations are 94-42A. Remaining are 18-106B and 34-102-A. The city is requesting 30 days or $150 per day after.
Okay. All right, city has proper notice in this case. Based on the evidence, I do find property complied with 94-482A, but remains in violation of 18106B regarding excessive growth and 34102A regarding junk abandoned vehicle. I will accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 31, 511 48th Street, CE 211-00322.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October 22nd. Certified mail was sent October 22nd. Certified mail was received October 25th. This property was cited for 74-34A-1J and 94-442C-1 and 78-94C. All violations are still existing on the property. The city is requesting 30 days or $100 per day after.
All right, I find proper notice in this case, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the evidence and the testimony, find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 32, 721 51st Street, CE 211-00404.
City of West Palm Beach, Robert Watkins. This property was cited October 27th. Certified mail was sent October 28th. Certified mail was received November the 2nd. This property was cited for 18-106A, 18-106B, 74-34A-1J, 18-106M, 78-6, and 94-71-C. All violations are still remaining on the property. The city is requesting additional 30 days or $150 per day after.
All right, city has proper notice in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Case number 33, 319 Clematis Street, number 808, CE 211-00104 is complied. Number 34 is complied. 319 Clematis Street, 610 Foster Security, CE 211-00105. Number 35 is complied. 319 Clematis Street, 203 Hollander Law Firm, CE 211-00106. Number 36 is complied. 319 Clematis Street, 600 Cast Construction, CE 211-00132. Number 37 is complied. Alexander Burrell Law, CE 211-00137, 319 Clematis Street, number 200. Number 38, 411 El Vedado, CE 2111075.
Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code. This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. It's also being advertised as a vacation rental. Certified mail was sent on 11/5/21 and returned on 11/8/21, not being signed. Both City Hall and the property was posted on 11/12/2021. Now, I had contact with the property owner on 11/15 and sent him an application for the rental license, which he sent back the following day. The application was processed on 11/17, and an email was dispatched to the property owner with instructions to pay for pay the fee and to contact me for an inspection. The fees were paid on 11/17, but I've had no contact with the property owner until yesterday, at which point we tried to set an inspection and it couldn't be done for the simple fact that he said that quite a few of the windows were missing screens. So the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter if compliance is not achieved by then.
All right, with the certified mail and posting, the city has proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 39, 3608 Greenwood Avenue, CE 21110122.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 3608 Greenwood Avenue is a continuation from the December 1st hearing. The respondent is not here today. At that point, you did advise the respondent to either apply for the rental tax receipt or submit the affidavit of non-rental, which hasn't happened, and he's not here today. Also, the respondent was granted 30 days or $100 per day for Code Section 94442C1. That is still not in compliance. The affidavit of non-compliance was submitted. The city is, at this point, requesting the 30 days or $200 per day for Code Sections 18162A, 2232A, and 94302A3.
Okay. Did we set this hearing at the last hearing?
Yes.
And they
So-
were here at that hearing?
Yes,
So
he
they
was
had
here.
notice? And they had
And-
notice for today. Have you been in contact with them?
No, not at all.
Not at all, okay. And there's been no forward progress at all on any of that other? All right,
It
well,
still
I will
remains the
accept,
same.
I will find that those remain in violation. I will accept the city's recommendation, require 30 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. And you don't need anything further on 94442C1,
No.
correct? Okay.
Number 40, 902 35th Street, CE 21110280.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, 902 35th Street was cited on November 20th of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on December 1st of 2021, and certified mail was sent on November 22nd of 2021. The property was cited for 18-103J, 18-106B, 18-215B, and 7434A1H. I've had contact with the property owner. The only remaining violation is Code Section 18103J. The city is asking for an additional 90 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
So just the paint.
Correct.
All right, I find proper notice in this case, even though the respondent is not present. Based on testimony and the evidence, I'll find property remains in violation of City Code 18103J, but has complied with all other code sections that were cited in the notice. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 90 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 41, 920 34th Street, CE 21110282.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, 920 34th Street was cited on November 22nd of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on December 1st of 2021, and certified mail was sent on November 22nd of 2021. The property was cited for 18-103J, 7434A1H. I've had contact with the property owner. The only remaining violation is 18103J. The city is asking for an additional 90 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
So again, the paint is outstanding?
Correct.
I see. Okay. City has proper notice, even though the respondent has not appeared at the hearing. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I find property remains in violation of City Code 18103J, but has complied with City Code 7434A1J. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 90 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 43, 928 32nd Street, CE 211100302.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, 928 32nd Street was cited on November 22nd of 2021. Certified mail was sent on November 23rd of 2021, and the property and City Hall were posted on December 1st of 2021. The property was cited for 18-103J, 7434A1H, and 18106A. I've had contact with the property owner. The only remaining violation is Code Section 18103J, which is the paint. The city is asking for an additional 160 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
160?
Correct.
All right, city has proper notice, even though the respondent has not appeared at the hearing. Based on testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation of City Code 18103J, but has complied with the other code sections that were cited in the notice. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow the respondent an additional 160 days to comply with the outstanding violation. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 44, 935 38th Street, CE 211100350.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, 935 38th Street was cited on November 30th of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on December 2nd of 2021, and certified mail was sent on December 1st of 2021. The property was cited for 94462B3, which is hat racking. The city is asking for a one-time fine of $250, and I've had contact with the property manager.
Did the arborist get a chance to take a look at the tree? Is it going to survive?
It looks like it's growing back. I see new growth on it. I don't think this is their first time doing that, because I do see where it has been cut before, but it's shows signs of life.
Okay. I will find proper notice in this case, even though the respondent did not appear at the hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find property remains in violation of City Code 94446-2B3 regarding tree hat racking. I will assess a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you.
Number 45, 1343 11th Street, CE 2110010.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property at 1343 11th Street was cited for, certified mail was received on 10/12/21. Property was posted on 12/10/21. I've had conversation with one of the property owner's sons. The violations cited are clean and unsanitary condition, garbage can placement, excessive growth, garbage, debris, and overgrowth, garbage, litter, and refuge, extensive overgrowth, and numbering standards. They have come a long way. The outstanding violations are all the violations. However, they're asking for 60 more days to bring the property into full compliance, or $50 per day.
That's city's recommendation as well.
Yes, sir.
60 days and $50 a day.
Yes, sir.
You said they have made some...
They made a lot of progress.
A lot of progress. It's not quite there
Tremendous
yet.
amount.
All right. Well, you have proper notice with the received certified mail and the posting. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation. Allow 60 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Next case, number 46, 616 11th Street, CE 211000022.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was received on 10/8/2021. Property was posted in City Hall 12/10/2021. This is a tenant complaint, and I went to the unit in early October, like October 2nd, and it was for the handrails on the exterior of the stairway of the property, safe egress from windows, clean and unsanitary condition infestation, provide window screens, extermination for pests, repair interior walls and floors, exterior doors and windows, plumbing fixtures, exterior painting of building, clean and sanitary condition in regards to trash and debris, junk and operable vehicle, landscape maintenance, outdoor storage. The violations that are in compliance are the junk and abandoned vehicle. All other violations remain.
What was the one? I didn't.
Junk and abandoned vehicle, 34102A.
Oh,
And I have had no contact from the tenant since the inspection, so I'm not clear on if any inside repairs have been done.
Okay.
But none of the outside has been.
All right. Recommendation?
I'm asking for 60 days more or $50 per day.
Okay. All right, well, with the received certified mail, and you also had posting, you have proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property has complied with City Code 34102A regarding the junked or abandoned vehicle. However, the property remains in violation of all other code sections that were cited in the notice. I'll accept the city's recommendation. I'll allow 60 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 47, 1322 Ninth Court, CE 211-00043.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was received on 10/8/2021. Property was posted on 12/10/2021. I've had no contact with owner and/or tenant. It is rental property. I cited the property for cleaning and unsanitary condition, cleaning of the driveway and sidewalk. I cited for junk and inoperable abandoned vehicles, and inoperable vehicles must be enclosed in an enclosed area, trash can in public view, and fence repair. Disregard the fence repair. Code came out wrong. Prohibited tree, meaning a pine tree that needs to be removed. Unpaid parking and outdoor storage. The junk and abandoned vehicle has complied. The inoperable vehicles have complied. Can in public view has complied. All other violations remain outstanding.
Okay. Recommendation?
I'm asking for 60 days or $50 per day.
How many days?
60.
60 days.
Yes, sir.
Or 50. All right. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 18106A, 94445, 4I, 94482A, and 9471C, but has complied with 34102A and C, and has also complied with 7434A1H, and there is no finding of violation for 943024. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 49, 1365 11th Street, CE 211-00291.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was, cert mail was returned to us on 10/8/2021. Property was posted on 12/10/2021. I have spoken with the property manager, email with the property manager. Property was cited for clean and unsanitary condition. That particular code is running daily fines, so it's running a daily fine, so disregard that one. 18106A?
Yeah, is
It's a daily fine running on it. So-
already
So disregard it.
from a different case?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Rental license, excessive growth, certificate of use, garbage can placement, hazardous tree, overgrowth, and cleaning up right-of-way, including easement into the roadway, and mowing of all overgrowth. Okay, what has come into compliance is garbage can placement and and all other violations remain. I have set up rental inspection for the property, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So that still remains. I'm asking for 45 more days or $50 per day.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, with the posting following the returned certified mail, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property has complied with City Code 7434A1J regarding garbage can placement, and 18106A is withdrawn as it has a fine running from a different case. All other code sections that were cited in the notice remain in violation. I will accept the city's recommendation. I will require compliance with all those outstanding violations within 45 days. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 50, 14016 Street, CE 211-00325.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Property was cited for clean, unsanitary conditions, excessive growth, overgrowth of easement, cleaning up half of easement, parking on parkway and/or swell, fence repair, and unpaved parking. All violations remain out of compliance. I've had no contact with owner and/or tenant. I'm asking for 45 more days or $50 per day.
Officer Luster, could you testify regarding notice?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have to notice? I'm sorry. Certified mail was returned to us on 10/29/21, and property was posted on 10/12/2021. Is that what you asked me, Ms. Arlene? Okay, I just couldn't hear you good with that mask on.
All right, you have proper notice with the posting following the return to certified mail. Let's see.
The fence repair was putting a garbage can in front of it, so.
Parking as well. What is the overgrowth violation? Is that stuff behind the?
Yeah, at the easement where you see the phone boxes.
Okay.
Okay, right there.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay. The clean and sanitary, what am I looking at there?
That's for the sidewalk.
Pardon me?
Sidewalk and driveway. Sidewalk and driveway.
Oh, okay. They need to be cleaned.
They need to be clean.
Take another.
I need to recite.
Is that not allowed to have that red paint on it? Is that?
No, the red paint is
Oh, I
fine.
see, there, that's a good picture
Yeah,
there, I
yeah,
can see.
yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Mhm.
Okay, with the posting following the return to certified mail, city has proper notice, I may have already said that. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation and allow 45 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 51, 813 7th Street, CE 211-00424.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. The cert mail was received on 11/1/2021. Also, a cert mail was returned to us on 11/16. It was two different owners, so we sent it to both addresses. Property was posted on 12/10/2021. I have spoke with the property manager, and the property was cited for painting, clean and unsanitary conditions, litter, trash and debris, rental license, certificate of use, junk abandoned vehicles, garbage can placement, overgrowth, cleaning up one half of easement and right-of-way, numbering standards, vehicles parked on roadway without license plate, fence repair, unpaved parking, a prohibited vehicle, trailer, and removal of prohibited vehicle and outdoor storage. Since then, the tenant has been evicted from this property, and all violations remain except for, well, all violations remain. None have complied.
Okay.
So I'm asking for 60 more days or $50 per day after.
Okay. With the posting following the certified mail, the city has proper notice even though the respondent is not present. I have reviewed the photographs and listened to the testimony. Based on all of that, I find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. I know it's 11:30. How many more cases do you have? A couple more?
1, 3, 2.
Let's finish Ms. Lester's cases, and then we'll go to the 11:30 agenda.
Thank you.
Number 52, 811 7th Street, CE 211-00425.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was received on 11/1/2021. Property was posted on 12/15/2021. I've had no contact with property owner. It is a vacant lot. I cited the property for garbage, debris, and overgrowth, excessive overgrowth, trash and litter, overgrowth, tree trimming, right of way, cleaning up 1/2 of easement. Landscape contractor must remove all debris. Obstruction of right-of-way due to the overgrowth of the trees, and trimming of the palm trees at sidewalk. The attempt was made, but it's not in full compliance at all. So all remaining violations, I'm asking for 15 days or abatement due to health concerns, varmints. I'm asking for the 15 days or abatement. Abatement.
All right, I will find proper notice in this case, even though the respondent is not present. I do find, based on the testimony and the evidence, that the property remains in violation as cited. I find that those violations do constitute a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare, given the excessive growth and the trash and debris that's on this vacant lot. I will accept the city's recommendation. I'll allow the respondent 15 days to comply. After that, the city is authorized to enter the property, abate those violations, and assess the costs.
Thank you.
Number 53, 639 South Mangonia Circle, CE 211100062.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property's cert mail was returned to us on 11/11/2021. Property was posted on 12/10/2021. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for permanently parking vehicle on public right-of-way, using the public streets as storage for parking, and unpaved parking, and restricted unpaved parking. This is a constant. He puts it on the vacant lot sometimes, he puts it on the road sometimes, but the reason why he doesn't put it in his driveway is because it's leaking oil.
Because why?
It's leaking oil.
Oh.
And he doesn't want to mess up his driveway. And I cited the vacant lot owner, so she put up all the proper signs, the no parking, the no trespassing, and he still continues to do the exact same thing, either on that lot or on the roadway. I'm asking for 10 days to come into full compliance, or I'm asking for $100 per day until it's met.
Okay, do have proper notice with the return certified mail and posting, even though the respondent is not present. And based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation to require compliance in 10 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
And 54 904 10th Street, CE 211200063.
It's complied.
It's compliant.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, it's 11:35. Do we need, does anybody need to take 5 before we push on? No? We good? Okay, let's go ahead and proceed then with the 11:30 agenda. These are the requests for fine reduction. If anybody was, which is probably everybody, I doubt any of you were here this morning when I swore in the folks for the 9 o'clock agenda. If you're going to be speaking to me about any of the matters on this agenda, your testimony needs to be under oath, so I need to swear you in. So please stand and raise your right hand if you're going to be speaking to me about any of these matters this morning. Anybody else? Just 3 of you are going to be testifying. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You can have a seat. When your case is called, please come up to the podium to my right. I'm going to get some background information from the city, and after that has occurred, then I will give you the opportunity to tell me about the request for the fine reduction. After I've heard from both parties, I will likely enter an order that resolves the matter this morning in some form or fashion. So let's go ahead and call the first case.
First case, other matters, number 719 9th Street, CE 18090436. Number 719 9th Street.
Number 7. All right. Case CE 18090436 was cited September 28, 2018. The property was taken to hearing November 7th, 2018. The special magistrate ordered 30 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved. Property was out of compliance for 1,018 days, which resulted in a lien amount of $101,800. The special magistrate, the applicant is the previous owner that caused a violation. Due to that reasoning, the city is seeking 25%. Don't fall. Hold on.
Thank you. All right, yes, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the request for the lien reduction.
All right. My name's Lee Sutherland, and I'm the property manager for this property, 719 9th Street, representing the owner who is not in the country.
Are you a member of the LLC, or are you here on their behalf?
I'm here on the behalf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The property was purchased on April 8th, 2021, and immediately had a change of contractor issued April 30th, 2021, and closed out final inspections on all permits by September 3rd, 2021, which is about 4 months and 5 days. And just wanted to ask for as much reduction as possible. It was a property went into violation in 2018 and then had an additional code enforcement case due to work without building permits, and they had started work without approval from the Historic Preservation Board, and we took control of that and put the building back in compliance for all the code cases and historic requests of siding. So there was work that was done that was had to be undone. It was extra cost. It was originally approved on the permit issued in 2019, and then it went through a couple of plan reviews, and then was found they could not do stucco siding. So it was just a back and forth for the previous owner and contractor, and we did our best to swiftly improve the property, clean it up, and make it a house for people to live in. And along the way, just occurred some things. We had a water leak that was found and stopped, but it was it accrued $4,000, which we were unable to get a leak credit for because it was outside of the window for the application process. So just trying to keep the cost down and keep fixing houses, and we're asking for a 95% reduction if possible.
Okay. Anything else from the city on this one?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, this is a $101,800 amount, fine amount on a 2018 property. Based on everything that has been presented to me, I will agree to reduce this down to $10,000. Can you pay that in 30 days? In 30
Yeah, I think
days.
we can pay that in 30 days.
Pardon me?
Yes, sir.
30 days. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Here's a copy of the order. Case numbers 4 and 5 for 428 Lilac Court, CE 07100854 and CE 07100956.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yep, still morning.
Okay. KCE 07100854 was cited on October 19, 2007. The property was taken to hearing on January 5, 2008. The special magistrate ordered 90 days or $200 a day to comply. The property was out of compliance for 4,896 days, resulting in a lien amount of $979,200. These violations were caused by the previous owner and special magistrate due to the high amount, and this being the new owner that applied, the city is only seeking 0.2%, well, 2% of the violation. You want me to go to the other
Give me
one?
the other one too.
Oh, okay. So KCE CE 07100956 was cited on October 23rd, 2007. Property was taken to hearing on February 29th, 2008. The special magistrate ordered 90 days or $100 to comply. Property was out of compliance for 650 days, resulting in a lien amount of $61,500. The violations were caused by the previous owner. Due to that reasoning, the city is only seeking 15% of this lien amount.
Is this a new owner also? Yeah, new owner? Yeah. Okay. All right, yes, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the request for the fine reduction.
Hi, good morning. My name is Leo Delgado Jr. Address is 6641 Southwest 85th Street, Miami, Florida, 33143.
Okay,
So-
how are you?
We're
what's
the
your
listing agent for the property. We
listing
represent the
agent?
owner. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Okay.
So originally, what had occurred is that this property was taken back in 2008 in a foreclosure proceedings. So then this entire time, the owner wasn't aware of these liens. It's not only until we have the property under contract to sell the property to the potential buyer who's sitting here at the hearing, is that we find out that there was these liens in existence. The work that was done by the previous owner. The violations were caused by the previous, the borrower, the previous owner. And the owner, the current owner, the seller, found out about these issues. They immediately called city. We worked with the city to get the permits, to get the property in compliance, and to resolve the outstanding code violations in order to mitigate the lien. We had to put impact windows with plumbing repairs. All the proper permits were pulled. The excess and expense was $20,000 to $30,000 that was spent just to correct the mistake that was
Tell me
done.
that number, because I was going to ask you what that investment.
It was between $20,000 and $30,000. That's just over the last couple, the last couple months the costs were incurred to take care of the windows. Other expenses have incurred, throughout the holding period. There's part of the issue that was unaware to us. There's other permits have been pulled throughout the process, right? In 2010, there was a permit pulled for a fence. There was some work done. We've constantly pulled permits for the property when required. Just this lien didn't pop up until the lien search came back.
Okay.
So obviously it's created this huge number, right, of like $1.3 million or something like that. That's the house is worth. We're under contract for, just to put things in perspective, we're under contract for $187,000.
Okay.
It appraised, it's a transitional area. It's a low income area, and so some of these fines are just outside of what would be expected. We're requesting $1,200 for each lien.
Okay.
I know percentage-wise it may seem out of whack, but it's just that the top number is so big.
No, I understand. All right, anything else from the city?
No.
Okay. So we have the case ending in 854, which has a balance due of $979,200. And based on the testimony and the evidence I've heard, I'm going to agree to reduce that lien or that fine to $7,500. On the case ending in 956, which has a $61,500 balance, I'm going to reduce that to $2,500. Can you pay that within 30 days?
I'd have to speak to the owner, sir. Is there any way to reconsider those amounts?
I'll give you as much time as you need, up to 12 months. I'm going to put is 6 months a more reasonable amount of time?
We're trying to, the issue is that we're trying to the buyer has been waiting 5 months. She's relocated, she's trying to do, she's been waiting to get this resolved.
No, I understand. I think that this is the appropriate amount to reduce this to, so I'm not inclined to change the number. I can give more time, but the total will be $10,000 off of that $1,040,000.
Okay.
Okay? Let's put 60 days, I guess, with the closing that's pending. That's gonna be, it's either gonna happen or not within that 60 days.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Let me get your order just a second. Number 6, 442 21st Street, CE 161-20487.
So, good morning. My name is Carlos Klosterboer. I'm going to be translating for my friend Eric, which is the in representation of DEC Global LLC.
All right, does the city have any objection to the interpreter? All right, let me
No
give you let me swear you in as the interpreter. Do you swear or affirm to accurately translate, is it Spanish to English
Spanish to English.
and English to Spanish, these proceedings for your client?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. So I'm just trying to, go ahead, I guess, go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay.
So let me ask the interpreter, you've heard how the city's presented the background information. Do you need that broken up, or can you take all of that at once?
I am ready to make an explanation because my friend told me how these things happen. So I'm ready for that.
All right, so I guess
I'll
go
go
ahead.
slow. Special Magistrate, I'm sorry. I don't believe that the gentleman in the striped shirt had been previously sworn in.
Right, I was just.
So if,
Oh, you were not
if his
sworn in?
testimony is interpreted, I think he would have to be sworn in still.
Oh, I thought he had already been placed under oath.
I'll go slow.
All right, well, I guess then to do this strictly by the book, sir, if you'll, I'm going to administer the oath. Mr. Translator, I'll need you to translate the oath. So, do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, true.
I do.
I do.
Te está preguntando si vas a decir la verdad y si juras eso.
Yes, I do.
And he said, yeah, okay. Okay, I think that covers that, so let's go ahead and proceed.
Thank you for all that.
If you need me to break it down or stop, let me know, okay? So you can translate?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I might have missed it, but I missed the names. Can you just state their names again?
My name is Carlos.
Carlos.
You?
Carlos.
Klosterboer.
Okay.
Kloo. You need my last name?
Yes.
I want to spell it for you.
Sure.
Kloosterboer.
Okay.
Carlos. And my friend is Eric. His last name is worse than mine.
Okay, thank you.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Case CE 161-20487 was cited December 30th, 2016. On January 6th, 2021, the property was taken to hearing. Wait, I'm so sorry. Case CE 161-20487 was cited December 30th, 2016. The property was taken to hearing March 15th of 2017. Keep going. The special magistrate ordered 60 days or $100 per day. The property was out of compliance for 403 days, which resulted in a lien of $40,300. The applicant is a previous owner that caused a violation. Due to that reasoning, the city is seeking 25%.
Can you translate all that?
Yes, 1 second. I missed the last part that you said. You said a number, 25% something? I lost the last sentence that you said.
Oh, the city is seeking 25%?
Of the total amount of 40,
Uh-huh.
25%
Yes.
of the total amount of
Of the
40?
total amount, yes. 25% of the total lien amount of $40,300.
Okay. Ellos lo que están haciendo es directamente yendo por la rápida y te dicen que te van a hacer una reducción del 25% de los 40.
No, necesitamos 95 y ahora ligamos. ¿Por qué?
Okay. Yeah, can I explain? We would like to have a better reduction, and I have some things that I would like to explain how this happened.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it again, break it down, and
Yeah,
and
okay, no problem.
It's just going to take a little more time, but that's okay. I want to make sure we get it right.
No problem. So, case CE 161-20487, it was cited on December 30th of 2016. The property was taken to hearing on March 15th, 2017.
Why don't you go ahead and translate that much?
El caso arrancó en el 16 Y fue filed en el 19, fue hecha el mención en el 19.
Hicimos en el 16 y en el 18 intentamos cerrarlo. Y entonces ahí es cuando no se entendió que habíamos creído que ya se había cerrado en el 18.
Okay. Do I have to explain this?
So this is not a question and answer at this point. I need the city to tell you, to testify. You need to translate it.
Okay.
It's not a time to ask questions. We need to kind of
understand.
keep this flowing. And then there will be an opportunity to ask questions.
Okay,
But that's,
thank you.
let the city I want you to translate the city's presentation, and then he can ask questions.
Okay. The special magistrate ordered 60 days or $100 per day for the property to reach compliance.
Le dieron un fine para que vaya pagando por no haber cumplido con las cosas en esta época. Espera, no me digas.
Okay. The property was out of compliance for 403 days, which resulted in a lien amount of $40,300.
O sea, ellos juntaron 400 días del problema, lo que dio un total de $40,000. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. The applicant is the previous owner that caused the violation. Due to that, the city is seeking the standard 25%.
Entonces, como entiende que hay una situación problemática creada, ofrecen que se haga un pago del 25% de los $40,000. Go ahead.
That is it.
Okay, so now you can. I need to get I need to get your name on the record and your address, and then tell me about the request for the lien reduction.
His.
Yes.
Okay, vos tenés que decir tu nombre y tu dirección.
Okay. My name is Eric Borboroglu, and my address is 1408 Northwest 126 Avenue, Sunrise, Florida.
And you are the current owner, is that? No, you're the previous owner.
He is, te pregunta si sos el owner.
No, I am the realtor.
You're the realtor.
Yes.
Okay.
He's representing the former.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me about the request for the
Representative.
reduction.
Yeah, he's the representative, and that's his translator.
My turn?
Yeah, it's his turn to tell me about the
Okay,
request.
he told me already, so we're going to be avoiding coming back. But basically, the owner lives in Argentina, purchased this property remotely, get a handyman to fix the property. The property was, then the fixing process was stopped because of the city said you need permits. So since he was a handyman, he couldn't provide any GC title to make the permits. So he introduced another person, which she helped, but she didn't. She just kept the $5,000 that he sent to fix the problems, and she just disappeared. So this owner get a general contract finally, who fixed all the issues with the permits, with the house, and finished with all the process.
Eso fue en 2018.
That was in 2018.
Y él quiso pagar ahí la multa que ya había de 40,000.
Then he wanted to pay off that fine, but no lo pudo hacer.
No, ya solicitó una.
At that
reducción
point,
de deuda.
the owner tried to go through a reduction, y no lo consiguió.
No, y después no sabía cómo manejar esa situación sin representante.
Él no estaba acá.
No estaba acá.
Okay, so he remotely from Argentina tried to make the reduction, but he didn't know how to do it.
Solamente se limitó a completar el formulario, pagar y esperar que la ciudad le responda si le perdonaba la deuda.
Okay, so he made a presentation online with a form, paid for that form, and he was waiting for the city to contact him and says, you know, this is going to be granted to you or not. He never received any response of that.
So let me ask a question. When did that happen? When did all of that happen?
¿Cuándo pasó? ¿En 2018 eso?
2018, sí, correcto. El 27 de junio del 2018.
¿Eso fue la fecha que lo puso?
Sí, el primero.
That was filed on July the 27th of 2018.
So the first request for the fine reduction was in July of 2018, and that never happened.
Yes.
Aquí tengo los comprobantes y el recibo de la ciudad.
He has here the receipt from the city with a stamp and a number. Y él nunca lo contactaron.
No, nunca le informaron cómo era el proceso y él solo recibió un email donde le decía que él debía $3,000 y entonces él pensó que eso era lo que pagaba esta deuda.
Okay, so the only thing he received after he filed this was an email stating that he owed $3,000, which he paid, in the understanding that that was the reduction of the $40,000 debt.
En realidad eran otras multas.
The truth was that these were other fines.
Pero él pensó que ya con eso solucionaba.
And he thought that at that point, with these $3,000 that he paid to the city, the case was closed, right?
Okay. Y ahora, este año, en octubre, comienza con el proceso de venta de la casa y cuando pido el file, el search title, surge esta deuda.
Okay, ¿cuándo fue? ¿Octubre?
Sí.
October 2001, he sold the property, and the realtor started with the process of getting the paperwork, and then he found out that there was a lien for $40,000.
Sí, esta misma que nunca se había cerrado.
This lien was never closed, and that the owner still owed the $40,000.
Y también un montón de otras multas que también fueron pagadas para poder tener en cero y poder pedir esta solicitud. O sea,
Esas multas son las que vienen por taxes, otras
exacto,
multas.
las multas se agregaron a taxes y se agregaron aquí.
So at that point, he received fines that were added to the taxes that he paid in order to receive the documentation needed to move forward with the sale of the property. Pero los $40,000 nunca se limpiaron. But the $40,000 was never cured or agreed or finished.
Y el dueño todo el tiempo ha intentado solucionar este problema, pero nunca fue bien guiado por nadie para poderlo solucionar,
Okay, so
ni siquiera por la ciudad.
The owner tried to fix this debt, but he never found any help to do it, either from someone like at that point, and from the city. He was not guided to what's the process to make the reduction. So therefore, he was in the thinking that he fixed the problem, but he didn't. So, entonces.
Entonces ahora, bueno, la idea es, ya se han pagado todas las deudas, la casa está totalmente prolija, como lo ven ahí, está todo mantenido, todo bien puesto, y la intención es cerrar de una vez, para cual solicitamos 95% de la rebaja.
Okay, so the property now is in good shape. Se vendió, ¿no?
Sí, se vendió.
Has been sold.
Ahora va a haber
All the fines have been paid, and everything seems to be all right, except for this lien in the house that needs to be removed for the new owner. So for that one, he's asking for a reduction of 95% of that debt.
Considerando que el dueño ya viene pagando multas cerca de...
Yeah, taking consideration that he's been paying fines in the amount of approximately $7,000.
Además del incremento permanente del 2017 hasta el 2021 en el property tax, donde también le cargaron las multas.
¿Otras multas?
Sí, otras multas.
So he has been also assessed with other fines reflected in the property taxes that he also paid.
Y además hay multas que, si vamos al detalle de las multas, muchas
del
no
colchón.
consideran. Sí, correcto. Por ejemplo, recolectar un colchón que no era nuestro y nos cobraron $300 a ese nivel de multa.
Okay, he explains that the owner also paid for a fine of $300 to the city recollect a mattress that was no estaba en la propiedad, estaba afuera.
Sí, en la vereda, pero no era
That was
nuestro.
not in the property, but in the street, but it was not from
Porque atrás de la
the property or the owner of the property. I think that this is something anecdotic because of the thing that he paid for the mattress removal when he was not responsible for that. Right?
Okay, let me see if the city has any questions.
I know he stated that they paid like $300-something, but this was not because of the lien amount. These were just like lot clearing charges, reinspection fees because they were under chronic nuisance, sanitation pickups. So those are all that's where that charge came from. That wasn't, you weren't necessarily paying off the lien amount. You were just paying off notices that you've received from other departments. Like one is from Public Works, reinspection fees for having a chronic nuisance case on the property because it wasn't being maintained for a while. Oh, sorry.
Esas multas y esos pagos extras no son necesariamente de este lien, sino que son de otras cosas que le correspondía pagar por cosas de la ciudad.
Claro, que no son cosas de las que no nos correspondían, podemos discutir eso, como por ejemplo el mattress. Entonces, lo que quiere mostrar es que siempre el dueño ha tenido buena intención y predisposición a dejar todo cerrado y limpio.
Okay, for what he told me it seems like the owner didn't feel like he had to pay for a lot of things that he paid, trying to show an intention of, paying for things and keep it
Todo bien,
in the right,
y bajo códigos, todo.
and trying to keep it under codes and everything, but he paid for everything that comes to him, except for this fine, multa pendiente de 40,000,
Exacto.
the last $40,000.
Porque nunca entendió cómo se cierra este caso.
Right. He said that the owner never understood how to properly come to this place and request a reduction or something. He was not explained that. And also there is a note that he told me before, that in this address 1416, which is the mailing address for the LLC, he didn't receive any notification, so he wasn't aware until the point that he sold the property.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
Anything else that you'd like to tell me, sir, before I make a decision?
¿Quieres agregar algo antes de que haga la decisión? La de la ciudad dice que no tiene más nada que agregar.
Que la intención del dueño y ahora mi compromiso también por amigo del dueño es que esta propiedad no tenga más ningún problema con la ciudad y tener en cuenta que se ha hecho una inversión muy grande con esta casa para ponerla en condiciones, está frente a una escuela y esto trajo una mejora también al lugar, a pesar de que ellos tienen a una cuadra de esta casa un centro de homeless y eso permanentemente ensucia y desprestigia el lugar y me baja entonces, ¿no?
Okay, he wants to add that the owner made economical efforts to have the property as it is right now. He included that the property is in front of a school and that one block away, one block away from that property there is a homeless house assistant where they come to the house, where they come to this meeting place and take things that then they drop in houses they're not habited, like this is the case. He feels that he paid some fines to do that too, but he paid them anyway. ¿Algo más quieres decir?
No, y necesitamos un entendimiento y la
And
colaboración de
he
la ciudad.
put a lot of effort in the economics of putting this house together, therefore he's asking for the 95% reduction for the fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, this is the case ending in 487. It has a $40,300 balance due. Based on everything that I've heard, the testimony and the arguments, I'm going to agree to reduce that to $6,000 payable within 30 days. Can you do that in 30 days?
$6,000 a pagar en 30 días.
Excelente.
Yeah.
All right,
he
thank
can
you
do
very
that.
much.
The order.
That's it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, very kind of you.
Number 83805 Paseo Andalusia, CE 20070383.
KCE 20070383 was cited on July 9, 2020. The property was taken to hearing October 21st, 2020. The special magistrate ordered 30 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved. The property was out of compliance for 318 days, which resulted in a lien amount of $31,800. This is a new owner. Due to that, the city is only asking for 15%.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the lien request, reduction request.
My name is Andre Baxum. The property address is 3805 Paseo, Andalusia, West Palm Beach.
Yes, sir.
The reason I'm here, I just bought the property back in September of 2021. I realized there were some liens and there were some issues going on with the property. So I got in touch with the code enforcement officer and I took care of the problem as quickly as I can. I'm asking for like a 95% lien reduction if possible, but I did get the job done pretty quickly, and this was all from the previous owner.
All right, thank you very much. Anything else from the city?
No.
All right, this case ending in 383 has a balance of $31,800. I am going to agree to reduce that down to $2,500. Can you pay that in 30 days?
Do you mind if you can give me 60 days?
I'm happy to give you 60 days.
Okay, thank you.
60 days.
Okay,
all right.
And lastly, number 9, 516 20th Street, CE 200900036.
Case CE 200900036 was cited on September 3rd, 2020. This property was taken to hearing December 2nd, 2020. The property was ordered to 30 days or $200 per day until compliance is achieved. The property was out of compliance for 59 days, which resulted in a lien amount of $11,800. This is the same owner. The city is seeking 25%.
Thank you. Okay, yes, ma'am. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the request.
My name is Carol Eames. The address is 516 20th Street, West Palm Beach, 33407. I bought the property in December 2019. The property was owned by somebody who had liens on it, but I wasn't aware until after I purchased it. I was notified by the city, and I did comply with all that was requested. I've spent over $101,000 getting this place intact. The last thing I did was put in total impact windows and everything, and now it's pretty much in compliance. I had tenants that was brought over from the previous owner who never paid rent for a year. The COVID situation came in, so it was a downhill for me. I had to evict each tenant, every one of them. So now everything is going okay, and I'm willing to pay $2,000 of the fine.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else from the city?
That is all.
All right. This is case ending in 036. Current lien amount is $11,800. Based on the testimony I've heard and the arguments, the request, I'm going to agree to reduce that to $2,000 payable within 30 days.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other matters, 1, 2, 3, they're rescheduled for 1101 18th Street.
Rescheduled?
Yes. So,
So that's it for the 11:30 agenda.
Correct.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the 9 o'clock. I think we were around number 55 or something.
And number 55 is complied, 234 Gregory Road, CE 211-00241. Number 56, 410 Colonial Road, CE 211-00386.
I have Mr. Oliva as the officer on this. Do we know?
Mark went to get
Or
the officer, Joe.
who's presenting?
Joe Oliva.
Yeah, is he here?
And they're getting him right now.
Okay, thanks.
I apologize.
Looks like you got cleanup.
Yes, you called me already?
Yeah, number 56, 410 Colonial Road.
Gotcha. Good morning, Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 10/26/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 10/27/21. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 10/27/21. I have not been in contact with the property owner. The property was cited for parking in the swale, 86-226. Areas of the property need sod/grass, 94-442-C-1. Rental license, no rental license, 18-162-A. Certificate of use, 22-32-A. And clean the exterior of the structure, 18-106-A. As of now, they did apply for the rental license. It's on hold. So as of this morning, the other violations have not come into compliance. Therefore, the city's asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. And if they do not come into compliance, we're asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Joe, I'm sorry, I didn't hear about the parking. Did you say the parking one as well?
Yeah, parking, no, the parking on the swale, they're still parking on the swale. The only thing, well, nothing is really in compliance. They did apply for the rental license and the COU, but it's on hold, I guess, waiting for inspections or something, but never contacted.
But it hasn't been issued at this point.
It's the first one of mine.
All right, I just wanted to scroll through the pictures real quick.
Sure. It's the 410 Colonial. Well, that was the 12th. Yeah, it was the initial.
All right. Got it. And, okay. The city has proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present at the hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 57, 526 Nathan Hill Road, CE 211-00409.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 10/27/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 10/28/21. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 10/28/21. I have had contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for excessive overgrowth, 18-106-B, landscape maintenance, 18-106-K, address characters, 78-6, painting of the structure, 18-106-G. The property has complied with the first three, the excessive overgrowth, landscape maintenance, and the address characters,
but has not yet complied with the paint. And he did call me and said money's a little tight right now. So what I want to do is, as of this morning, the property has come into compliance with 3 of them, except for the paint. So I want to give them 60 days for them to come into compliance, and if they do not, it's $50 a day thereafter.
So it's just the numbering standards that are outstanding?
No, the painting of the structure.
Okay.
The numbering standards were complied, the landscape maintenance and excessive overgrowth was complied, it's just the painting of the structure.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I want to give them 60 days or $50 a day.
All right, I will find proper notice even though the respondent is not present. Based on testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 18106G, but has complied with the other code sections cited in the notice. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Number 58, 141 Gregory Place, CE 211-00413.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 10/27/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 10/28/21. In addition, both the property and City Hall posted on 10/28/21. I have had contact with the representative of the property. The property was cited for no rental license 18-162-A and no certificate of use 22-32-A. As of this morning, the property has not come into compliance, therefore the city's asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city's asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved. Now, the representative did call me, and I looked it up. The license is on hold. They had failed an inspection from code enforcement. So I guess once they call for another inspection, we'll go out there and then it'll be in compliance. But I'm going to give them the extra 30 days to do that.
Okay. With the posting in the certified mail, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 30 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 59, 915 Forest Hill Boulevard, CE 2111-0045.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/3/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 11/3/2021. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 11/4/2021. I have not had contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for clean and sanitary conditions 18-106-A, no rental license 18-162-A, no certificate of use 22-32-A, no business tax, 82-144. Tree stump removal, 94-446-2-C-3. Exterior surface needs cleaning, 18-106-G. Engaging in a business, 18-151. Fence repair, 94-302-A-4. Outdoor storage, 94-71-C. Missing sod and grass, 94-442-C-1, swale and parkway, 78-94-C, and boards on windows, 18-100. As of this morning, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city's asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city's asking for $500 a day until compliance is achieved. This was an Airbnb that was, and I have the Airbnb on the photos, that the police had a bunch of issues there where there was one month there was an overdose that somebody passed away on, and then there was a shooting the next month, and some of the tenants over there are like, they got to do something here, but there's a lot going on there. And the police department had me put the police reports in the case.
Okay.
The only thing that they did come in compliance with was the removal of the tree stump. They did grind the tree stump that was in the front, but everything else is still outstanding.
Okay. So that's 94-446-2C3.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, well, with certified mail and the posting, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence I've reviewed, I will find property remains in violation as cited, with the exception of City Code 94-446-2C3 regarding the dead tree stump being removed. We'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $500 per day until compliance is achieved.
Number 60 is complied, 915 Forest Hill Boulevard, CE 21110046. Number 61, 714 Palmetto Street, CE 21110174.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/10/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 11/16/2021. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 11/10/21. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for excessive overgrowth, 18-106-B, 18-106K, landscape maintenance, 18-215-B, failure to comply, 74-4-C-1, trimming of the trees, and 78-94-C, the swell on the parkway. As of yesterday, they did come into compliance with the swale and the trimming of the trees, but not the excessive overgrowth, the landscape maintenance, and the failure to comply. So as of this morning, the property has not come into compliance, not come into full compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
All right, with the certified mail and the posting, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present and you've had no contact. So 7894C and 744C1 are the two that are complied. That's
Yes.
if I got that right. However, I do find, based on the evidence and testimony, that all other violations remain. Tell me again the relief you're seeking.
Well, it was 30 days or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
This has not reached an abatement situation yet?
No, because I think somebody's living there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't, so it looks like it's vacant sometimes, but then sometimes, somebody did something there because they cut the swale and parkway and cleaned it up, but they didn't do anything else.
All right, well, I'll accept the recommendation. I'll require 30 days for compliance, and after that, $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
Number 62, 212 Gregory Place, CE 21110188.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/12/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 11/15/21. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 11/12/21. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for trimming of the trees, which is obstructing the right-of-way, 74-4-C-4. Fence repair, 94-302-A-4. Rotten wood, 18-103-B. Garbage can placement, 74-34-A-1-J. And clean and sanitary, 18-106-G. As of this morning, the property has not come into compliance with any of the violations. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. And if they do not come into compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved. Now, could I ask for an abatement on the trimming of the trees obstructing the right-of-way, because it's the sidewalk that people can't walk past? So if I could ask for a 5-day abatement on that, just the trimming of the trees on the sidewalk?
Yeah, show me the picture of that real
Yeah.
quick.
It was the original on the initial inspection, and then yesterday's inspection too. Okay. It's should be coming up. Yeah, right there.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, city has proper notice in this case with the certified mail and with the posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited. I do find that the violation of City Code 74-4C4 regarding trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way to be a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. For that violation, I will allow the respondent 5 days to comply. After that, the city is authorized to enter the property, abate that violation, and assess those costs. For all other violations, I'll allow 30 days for the respondent to comply. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 63, 830 Franklin Road, E CE 21110317.
Joseph Oliva, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/22/21. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on 11/23/21. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on 11/23/21. I have not had any contact with the owner. This property was cited for 18-265, a boarding certificate. As of this morning, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city's asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay. With the certified mail and the posting, the city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, require compliance within 30 days. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
And number 64 is complied, 522 Nathan Hill Road, CE 21120037.
I think that concludes the agenda. Is that right? Did we miss anything?
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It is 12:32, and we stand adjourned.